What is up, everybody? Happy Friday Night Flicks. I know there's other stuff going on, and I'm happy that you guys are all here, but I'll be here for a while. So if you're over and waiting on a giveaway at Metal Complexes, go back over there and know I'll be hanging with you guys. Craig Wilkes, channel member. Marco Scamma. Good to see you guys, man. I figured it was going to be very, very slow till we get probably an hour in, but I wasn't going to go ahead and move it back. I figured I'd come here and talk to myself or just see what was going on as we kind of ease into it. I don't even have my table up beside me. So I can do this without all of the blacking out. Look at that. Look at that towel. Not used. No, thank you, Google. She's a listener, man. Crispy Critter, I hope you are doing well, my man. I've been thinking about you and sending positive vibes your way. Mike McLaughlin, channel member, what is up? And Crispy's a channel member. And I hope all you guys, if I'm not mistaken, whoops, I just minimized it. I need to pull up my YouTube chat because if I'm not mistaken, I pinned the channel member giveaway, which tonight's a doozy. Hold on, I'm behind the scenes here, pulling up shit. But it is a should be. Let's see if I've got it pinned. Oh, yep, I got it pinned. It's the one that's pinned at the top of the comments, which I'm now popping out or popping them out. I don't know why sometimes on StreamYard it doesn't do, like, for example, it doesn't show me that pinned comment that you guys probably see at the top. Jim Miller, channel member, what's up? Ground Fog, Lord Needham, my brother Colby, what is up? What is up? What is up? Ground Fog, Robbie W. Guys, I'm surprised anybody's here this early because I figured that Jared and MC would go longer. They didn't. Hey, Robert Douglas, what is up? Yeah, if y'all are up for it, definitely hit the like. Hit the like. That always, I never ask for it. I don't know what it does, but it makes me feel good. I hope y'all like it. Or if you don't, say, hey, man, you need to not do this. I don't like that. But yeah, the member giveaway tonight is sick, and we've got a couple of, or we got a surprise or two that we'll make sure everybody gets involved in. But one of the things I was going to wait till more people got in here, because we're going to be probably very, very low key until I'm guessing about 9 o'clock, 9:30 Central Time. And then we're going to have a special guest come by from out on the West Coast. Might have a couple of other special guests come by as well. But I want to definitely put some extra emphasis on this guy. And the reason I'm doing this is I'm going to be focusing more efforts in terms, when I say efforts, more giveaways are going to be focused through the channel membership. Not because I'm trying to, just make anybody else not eligible. It's just that I've tried to set up tiers that were low. And I think that there's a lot of value there because again, you got to see it probably before you can actually feel the value. But I plan on doing some unique sales, like when I get ready to sell some of my more specific knives, like, and don't get any crazy ideas because I'm not selling any of these. But if I get to a position to where I do, I want to make sure that I have a group that I can turn to first to sell those to. So you're going to see more focus. My point is more focus on the channel membership because right now I'm kind of in between ventures and going to try to focus a little bit more time on YouTube. No, I'm going to have a real job too. But if there's any way that I can, give back and spend more time. And keep in mind, I'm thinking out loud with the squirrel brain, guys. But if I can spend more time doing things like one of the things I decided during a Mental Health Monday was how could I add a little bit extra, and then I started to think about the Wednesday night, Thursday morning, late night live. knowing that there's nobody going to be there. And there have been very few people there the last two times, but it was something that I kind of said I'd do when Maddie and Sharif were on, and I kind of want to stick to it. So the more, and those little things like that, when I'm working, and I'm hoping to be working again soon. I'm not looking right now because I've got some side hustles if I wanted to do them. But the most important thing is to focus as much energy as I can on the channel and the community. There are a lot of things that I need to do personally, professionally, but all that is, aside from you guys. And I just appreciate that every single one of y'all are here. So know that when I put the videos out that I want y'all to comment on for the channel members, that is why. These are knives that weren't sent to me by anybody. These are knives that I purchased out of my hard dollars, bought them, put them in the collection. I've got 3 Apache cases, actually 4. I miscounted. And as knives come in, or as I decide to thin the herd, knife sale would be great. I buy a lot of knives there, but I'm not yet set up as a seller, and I don't really want to sell stuff like that. I'd rather pass it on to you guys. Um, Again, because you guys watching, you guys supporting, you guys hitting the like button, you guys being here, all that means a lot to me. And I'm not going to get so far. NFK, I appreciate you, brother. Not for Nimes, you've been around forever. And I will go back and just finish greeting some people after Crispy Critter channel member, Not channel member, Robbie W. Good to see all you guys. And please don't think that I'm ever trying to push you towards channel membership. I just want to make sure it's understood that you guys know why I'm doing the giveaways weekly through the channel membership, because they're getting to a tier of knife, and I've still got stuff that'll go towards everybody that's in the chat. As long as we know you and you're active in the chat and you're not somebody coming in as my brother Doom would say, a turd burglar. We don't want a turd burglar coming in and grabbing something or sniping something. But I'm just going to have more focus on channel members. I want to be able to give more value to channel members. And again, whether that's extra content, whether that's content that's in the form of a live stream. I hate to leave anybody out of a live stream, so I doubt that'll happen. But there are a lot of cool things that could happen. And I know with the knife sales, that would be something that I'd be interested in. I don't have a Discord. I think we all have enough areas to like hanging out with Stevie at his Discord. I don't want to bring any more clutter to the world by any means, but I definitely want you guys to have a place to connect with me. So, that's important too. So I'm working on all that. Don't think that I'm just surmising how things might be. I'm thinking about what can I give back in terms of, added value to that cause. But we've got Bama Ninja, Timmy. We've got NFK, formerly Nuts for Knives 20. We've got Mike McLaughlin, channel member, all of them. Mayor Salt, channel member. Good to see you, buddy. Jim Miller, channel member from down under. When I say down under me, South Alabama. And then we got Five Door, fantastic brother from out in the biggest state in the union, the freest state, I would say. Not that I'd ever go in there. Scotch and Things, what's up, yo? Are you off the road, dude? I can have you a link in no time. Robbie W, what is up, my man? Dan B, Marco, Scotch and Things is our one of our co-host hangers out here, and I know we've got a guest coming later that I think you guys are going to be stoked with. So yeah, we are all in for a Friday night of hanging loose and chilling. Demonite 13th, what is up? Y'all are just kind of greeting each other. Double D10 channel member, what is up, my man? Good to see you. And then we got Marco, and somebody just became a member or let's see, Josh Branson. Welcome, buddy. I appreciate you more than you know, dude. That's awesome. And that just came through StreamYard. So as my brain went absolutely big, but that means a little YouTube dual window that I was got going here for that exact thing is just now has not even pulled it up yet. It just did. So actually StreamYard caught it. I'm closing that out and I'm sticking with StreamYard. Josh Branson, thank you, buddy. I appreciate you more than you know. And again, I don't want you guys ever to feel like this is the only way you're going to win. No, you're not. I'm going to make sure that as long as I can, that there's something good that I can pass along. I pass along a lot of my knives that were just kind of my Savinis. I still got some good Kaisers that I'll be able to give away, and I've got a gift that a subscriber sent in to give away. So there'll be some stuff going out to everybody. I don't, like I said, I'm not doing it to leave people out. I'm just doing it to kind of bring people in. And the main part of it is I don't want to limit the communication to anybody's because we've got a clubhouse that I set up that I think you can do the same thing now in Twitter Spaces, but which is more of a forum where you can bring people together and they can communicate, not type, but talk, which I think we all like to be able to do if it's done in a, gentlemanly fashion where people are going to chat. Dude, I hope you had a good day, buddy. And you get you some rest if you need it, Lord Needham. You're the man. I appreciate you and hope you have a good weekend, brother. Absolutely. Sweet dreams, Needham. Just dive door. So, what has everybody been? Has the week been crazy for you guys? I'm going to be honest, it's been weird for me because I'm in this really odd self. Well, it's not necessarily self-proposed. I'm allowing it like I should to kind of unravel. That sounded wrong, or unravel itself or expose itself to me, right? Um, Kind of rolling with the punches of my new not going to work every day, not working for the man, yada yada yada. All's good. And I haven't done anything independent yet either. Like I was saying earlier, I'm just being. So it's nice, but I do look forward to Fridays. I look forward to hanging out with Pocket Metal on Monday night. Um, I look forward to watching. There's several different shows. I won't say the day and time. I know that I either watch. I know I'm watching Maddie and Sharif on Monday morning, or a taping of Maddie and Sharif on Monday morning. And I know I watch Patty at 1 o'clock Central. I don't know if that's Monday, if that's Tuesday, if that's Wednesday, because again, the days have run together for me. Could be Thursday, could be Friday. Heck, I don't know. But it's all good. Mark H, what is up, brother? Blade Ogre, what is up? Let me get caught up. So I'm at the front. Paul Mills, channel member. Great to see you, my man. And if I've been communicating with any of you guys on IG and it's been less than a day and I haven't gotten back, I've not opened it in 8 or 9 hours. Jim Miller, Chris Hinkle, channel member, good to see you, man. All you guys, welcome. Josh, the main man, good to see you, brother. Glad you decided to jump on. I promise it'll be worth your while. Maybe you'll win tonight. You never know. You might get your instant return. Then we got Scotch and Things. Perfect, buddy. I'm gonna send it to you. I didn't know if you were out and about or if you were working or what. I'll send it to you here in just 1 second. I'm about to get to the front. Stephen Wallace, good to see you, my man. Marco, Ginger Fisher, channel member, what is up, brother? I'm just making sure. If I missed you, I'm just kind of scrolling over. I'm just trying to get closer. Louis, welcome, brother. Gator Aaron, channel member, how are you, my man? Apologize for that. I'll have to grab my. All right, scrolling. I think we're all in here. I think we're kind of a tight little group right now because, like I said, I think there's a lot of other stuff going on, which is totally understandable. Let me do something real quick. I've got to remember, keep this stuff closer to handy. Let me do this. Won't. Cancel. Make sure I go to this one. Copy. Go over here to the gram. Ooh, Countess Ann. See, she always throws up a picture to throw me off. If y'all aren't following Countess_Ann, ANNE, or Anna on Instagram, you're missing out. Awesome knives, elegant, beautiful. She's well worth the follow. She's one of my favorites. And she's actually saved my ass when well, it didn't really save my ass because it didn't matter, but I've had two people today, and this is before, once was before I had a YouTube channel. It was just on, I was just on Instagram really. And the other was after. They had basically cloned all my shit. Like they had this dual me out there that was like posting my shit at random, my Instagram stuff. And they'd amassed more followers than I had. It was nuts. I finally had to turn them in, had to send stuff. You got to go jump through so many hoops to prove that, somebody's Dwayne Letterman, what's up? Dan B, what's up? To prove that you're yourself, right? Which I guess that makes sense, that you wouldn't want somebody to be able to come in and cause you some kind of bullshit if it wasn't really you. But once you prove it, they'll go away. But it's just the fact that it's so easy to do, I mean, and that people can, they all have a little bit link or some link that I never clicked on in their bio that's no telling what it goes to. But the fact that people could think it's not saying Javon, or it doesn't say anything that sounds like me, but it's my picture or one of my facial pictures that I put out there. And it's just a bunch of knife pictures and then some little link and, kind of a copied bio, might be a little bit changed. So be wary. The only reason I haven't gone for the check yet, it's not the $8 or the $12, whatever it is. It's the fact that when I put my name in, I don't mind. My name is John Evans, right? I use it all the time. It's caused me so many issues by my license name being IV, the fourth, and my tax name being John Wilson Evans. So it's just a nightmare. So what I'm not looking to do is have my Instagram get all jacked up. So I need to talk to Lefty or somebody who's gotten check marks so people know there's only one Javon, one me. It's J Evans _knife addict _life. I've got another profile on Instagram. That's John W. Evans 1999 or something like that. That's my parent profile. That the J Evans _knife addict, whatever's under that. But it's basically just family shit, and there was older pictures of my daughter when she was, growing up, and just regular hanging out, skateboarding, stuff like that. But I don't ever post it really anymore. That's kind of an archived account that I keep there for posterity's sake. I love it. I might every now and then post an update over there or cross post. But my main gig is the one that's in my bio. That's J Evans _knife addict _life. So anything else that you see that seems fishy, first of all, I'll never reach out to you guys. The only weirdest thing you'd get from me, and I doubt you'd get it, it would almost be like, hey man, you won in the way it would be is I'd DM you, I'd say, hey man, you won the other night in the member giveaway. I need you to send your address to, it'll always be at naslives2021@gmail.com. So that way you're always, one, it keeps it in an inbox for me. So I'm notified that's the person that won. I can copy it, drop it into Pirate Ship. And I've got your email address so that I can drop it into Pirate Ship and you're sent the tracking information at the same time that I print the label. And it just works out the best. So if you're ever contacted by me for anything other than saying, hey man, congratulations, email me your address at, it's a scam. That would be the only reason, unless we're just chatting about something or talking to you about a knife. Typically, I'm going to throw you my cell number or you're going to drop me your cell number and we're going to talk about something if it's like that. But, I guess I'll definitely have full conversations on Instagram, but I'll never come out in any type of predatory way asking you for weird shit. So I've just seen people that have taken my profile or a profile that was all my shit and then turned it into something else with a bit link in it of some sort. And I don't want any of you guys ever to get scammed. That would suck. That would give me a not good feelsies. Pretty fly for a knife, guy. And Neil McKenzie, what is up, guys? Demon Knot. So I know we're going to have our member giveaway, which you guys are all going to go up and leave a comment in the pinned comment. And then this knife, I have been able to barely read out what it is. It's a fantastic knife. I'm wanting to do a review on it, which I can probably do tomorrow, Saturday, which is normally when I try to ship. This is going to be a little extra giveaway, so this might not ship until Monday because I think it does deserve its own review. It is the Kaiser. I've got a new rod or die. We'll talk about it in a second. Bujai or Bugai. B-U-G-I. Bugai. However you pronounce that. But this was a gift from somebody who sent it in. It is a fantastic knife. It's got banging detent. It's got a very unique tip. That's why I want to review it. It's a great little drop point. But if you look at it here, it's got this really acute, almost chisely tip, which is much thicker. So yeah, you've got this nice little drop point, but this comes to a really thick, piercing, stable. I mean, it is a little chonker. So anyway, I think it would be a great Slurpee saver. I think it deserves, because I think that grind is so unique at the front of that it does deserve a review or an overview. The scales are contoured to perfection. Just very comfortable. It's not just one pattern going on. I don't know where, I don't know what 3D design they started with or why, because it's not symmetrical, but it does feel good. It is a flipper or flicker with the thumb hole only, which could easily be that. We don't always think about the way that we open knives, or you could thumb flick it if you're into that. But again, it's also for pinching it open. If you want to pinch it open. Deep carry clip. Can't really get it to. But that'll be a little go to somebody that is active in the chat, that we know who they are. That, is not just somebody coming in as Bearded Doom, my brother from another mother would say, a turd burglar. We don't want those. So I'm going to show you guys what I carry. And it has been a joy to carry this today. This is my Shaman with, I want to say, these are sharp dress knives, scales. I don't know if you're seeing that. It's a purple haze kind of carbon fiber. Very smooth, no voids, but very rich when the light hits it in the right area. And it's a CTX HXP, or I probably just butchered that through my dyslexia. Let's get my little rod or die here. Double click. CTS XHP. So that's been my primary carry. It's a banger. And then my fixie, for some reason, I keep carrying this little knife. I think it just fits my hand to perfection. I still love every one of my chickadees. This is just a little user. This is my TKL Piranha. I love this knife. I think I've got there, yeah, my 10% there. And then in my right pocket, pulling out a bunch of fives. I don't know how those got in there. No way good, I can tell you. I'm carrying my Feel Good Jack, my favorite current Jack Wolf knife, because I've resisted the temptation now that I'm not bringing in what I would consider my normal little game, my little money game or my corporate game. I have not picked up the Pioneer, which I really, really liked. Um, that is the little fixie, Rob. It's the one that if they've still got them available, buddy, you should take a look. It is right around. I want to say it's 6 inches long. So it's a little 6 incher. Now, Jason is going to stop by, which is kind of giving away who's going to be our guest, but he makes fixies on an entirely different level. And he made this little fixie for me. I need to get it out. I've got his two other knives. But he's made a little bit larger knives, but this is a little fixie that I think is just to die for. A little full tang, Ultim, kind of the darker Ultim, S35. And it is slicey. Not that you'd want it to be slicey for the way that it's designed, but it is a little chomper. But yeah, the TKL is they. As a matter of fact, if they don't have them ready now, I don't know. The TKL is in 80 CRV HD, and then it's got nitron boride on top of it. If you go to their website, it talks about they've got a 10-day heat treating process to heat treat this 80 CRV. And Tim, who's a vet, talks about why he uses this and or ABEL. So he uses ABEL as well. This one happens to be 80 CRV. But then they add this nitrogen boride, I think is what it's called, but it's basically a coating where it looks stonewashed, but that's actually the coating that's applied to it. They have a company down the road that manufactures a lot of stuff for Glock, and it's a basic treatment for any type of internal part that you'd have for a pew that would need to resist temperature, that would need to resist a lot of back and forth friction. And it does a fantastic job on knife blades. I'm not going to talk as much about it, but if you go read about it on the website, he explains why it'll have an 80 point HRC is what it basically adds to the blade, just because the coating is so permanent and it basically bonds to the blade. And I've been beating the absolute hell out of this. That's why this little knife stays in my pocket. I even did a specific video with this and the chickadee. And the only reason is I like the little knife. I think it's a great value too. Oh yeah, the Rosie, I can totally appreciate that. And I'm kind of having to, I'm trying to think what I've got coming in. I've got a really cool package coming in. Thankful for Joseph Vero, and it's just going to be something I'm going to bring into the channel. I'm going to feature it because it's kind of right in my wheelhouse. And then I'm going to send it back to him and give him some feedback. And then I've got some really cool stuff, some other things coming in, but I'm not going to be able to buy probably the way I used to unless I get into trading, which I don't think someone who is a tactical hoarder, I'll call it that, when it comes to knives, Lefty gives me a hard time. I don't let things go. And now, when I see Jim Miller talking about the Koenig Arius, and I think about certain knives, I would probably be willing to trade for certain knives, but the situations have to just line up to be perfect. I don't, I rarely sell stuff. I sold it for a little while, on before I had a channel, I guess. I sold a couple of knives on Instagram, but once I started a channel, it was easier just to pay them forward. Greg, you will, I would say that I was somebody who was never, and this is 6 months ago, I had no use for a slip joint. It was never going to be part of anything I wanted. I would turn off videos that talked about it. I would give Lefty a hard time. One night, in the middle of the night, I bought a damn Ohio River Jack. Didn't even really remember buying it, and I'm not a drinker, so I have nothing to blame it on except subconscious, Ambien, and Lefty's Black Magic, because I did use Lefty 10 at traditional pocket knives, which makes no sense either. But within 24 hours of ordering that knife, I'd already ordered the Hedgehog. So I had two slip joints coming in. See where I put it. And I love the Ohio River Jack. For the money, you can get this knife for $50 in micarta. This happens to be the carbon fiber, which is about $80. Still 14C. Now, if you go to traditional pocket knives, they've got a full titanium version that's M390. But what I love about this knife is the hollow grind. I love this little pronounced tip. It reminds me in tip. It's got that same little reach out there and get you tip, even though it's a shorter sheep's foot. But for a slip joint, I didn't think I was going to be into them. I didn't want anything to do with them. I got two. I played around with them. I bought a couple of slips from Lefty, and the rest is kind of history. It's just been another part of knife collecting that I've enjoyed and that I've kind of gotten into. What's up, Scotch and Things? Can you hear me, buddy? Can you hear me, buddy? He'll get in here, buddy. Get her in. But yeah, so I would have never ever thought about going with a slip joint, just like I would have never thought about a fixed blade being on my EDC, right? I didn't have any place for it, didn't think it would ever make sense, and it does. I mean, I really, really enjoy it. What is up, Joe Isabella and Robbie W? 5 Door, my man. 5 Door sent me this, my first OTF, and I love it. What's somebody being a prick to NFK 20? What did I miss? See, I don't see the. Yes, I've cut myself. I found out the reason I did not, and my dad, who's got Alzheimer's, actually is the one that made me think of why I didn't like slip joints. Is I cut myself when I was like 8. Thumbs up me if you think you want to jump in, buddy, and I'll jump you in. Can you hear me? All right, there
I
we
can
go.
hear. Can you hear me?
Hear you perfectly.
You hear me? Okay. I don't. My headphones. They're not. You guys can hear me okay without them? I just got these out of the washer.
No, you do not need them. It sounds great. I can hear you perfectly. I'm sure everybody else can.
Yeah, let me know, guys, if you hear me okay. Yeah, I accidentally washed my AirPods.
It happens.
We'll see how they hold up.
Well, right now you sound crystal clear. It looks like you're in a new part of the house that you are you eked out your space yet?
No, I'll give you guys a tour here in a second, and maybe you guys can help me. I finally moved a chair in because last time I was on, everybody was gone. Now everybody's home and kids are everywhere. So I came in here tonight and it's a shithole. It is a giant shithole. I've done some unboxings in here and that's it. I haven't had a chance. I haven't unpacked anything.
Dude, the key is having you a little space. I think my space is probably, and I'm not good spatially, but I'm saying I've got probably 4 feet by maybe 7 feet that I don't use, but a third of that. And it's just where I sit. It's kind of like a desk, right? Where like the front part of my desk is live stream facing. And then I've got a third of the desk that's my tabletop behind me. So that's where I've got my tripod. If I spun around my camera, it would show you'd see the tripod sitting up and where I do my table down. But I'm so simple. I'm just a simpleton.
Dude, and this is basically like, okay, so I've got what my computer's sitting on now is a Harbor Freight workbench that I bought, God, probably 8 years ago. And it's rickety. But it's held up through 2 moves and I can't get rid of it because it's got a bunch of stickers on the pegboard.
It's serving its purpose. That's
yeah. In the last house, I had this. My safe was next to it, and then I had this plastic shelf that's behind me right now. Right there is where I kept a bunch of pew stuff. And now, when we designed this house, we dug out. This is still after we designed it and everybody got their own room, there still wasn't. I was like, God, everybody's got a bedroom now. There's still nowhere for me. So we talked to the builder and we dug out under the porch, and one acts like a room for me, and it's all concrete.
Ooh, bunker.
So it acts as a storm shelter too.
It's kind of like you're scotching things bunker. That'll also be
it is a bunker. I've got a keypad on the door to get in. Didn't want to spend the money. We priced it, one of those big cool vault doors. Those obnoxiously priced.
Right.
But yeah, I've been trying to think of how to set it up. So they drywalled one wall for me so I can hang some stuff on the wall. But I don't know if I can.
Yeah, because I know you collect a lot more than just your knives.
Well, I've got some knives. I mean, guns and I mean, it's just look at the horse. Yeah. That's all my stuff, and I completely, when those knives went missing, just to make sure, like everything in here has been unpacked, tore through, and then thrown back in boxes. I didn't have time to deal with it. So yeah, I'll give you guys a tour here. There's my safe, but it's a pretty good sized room.
Great space, dude. Yeah, that's a beautiful space. You can control the lighting there.
Wall. I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, you're lagging a little bit. That's the only thing about wireless in a basement is you'll get laggy.
But I'm right next to the hub, so I should be, but I'm in an all concrete room too, so we'll see.
But dude,
Can
that's
you
a
hear me?
great speed. Yeah, I can hear you fine. You're back
Okay.
now. You're back normal now. It's
Um,
just when you walked away from the hub, I think it got you a little bit less.
on on this back wall where I've got all the power, I'm gonna hang some shit on the wall. Got all my skateboard decks back there. Probably put those back there. Um, but I think I'm gonna build a bench along the wall so I can go over there. Some me or whatever system I use to go with, and finally teach myself how to sharpen. We'll see.
Oh, dude, you can. I'm gonna have to teach myself how to sharpen because I got a little A100 on NAF sale, and thought it was a basic bitch. You know, I thought it was a two-sided, pretty easy to sharpen knife, and I realized it's a single bevel.
The chisel grind.
Well, you know, it's not a chisel grind in its natural set, like what I would have thought a chisel grind would be. Because I've got some chisel grinds, so it's got a primary bevel on each
Oh
side.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
But when you get down at the bottom, it's one of these sides. This side just terminates, and this has got a secondary bevel. So to sharpen this, I mean, this is a freehanding machine because I do all of my slip joints freehand now because I've learned to actually find the bevel, and I'm never trying to reprofile them. I'm just trying to get them sharp, right? So
That's what this one is.
So I just figure you would sharpen the one edge once you found the bevel, and then you would just knock off the burr on the back end is all I can figure. I would reach
Mm-hmm.
out to Jared before I set anything else up because I also like to use, okay, Kyle Coonley's in here. Yeah, Kyle, I mean, again, I'm a big sharpener. I'm trying to learn how to sharpen. And it's like Annette said, now it's sharp, and you know how much I'll cut. It'll probably always stay sharp. I'm just kind of fascinated on how you would do a V grind with the chisel edge. I mean, would you like on a TS Prof? You would never want to put it on a TS Prof probably or a fixed angle system, right? Or would it matter? You just set it to whatever the degrees is, and then chisel. How do I sharpen that? Yeah, people are throwing questions in, and that's something I've had a question with. But yeah, dude, this is a knife that I would have never thought was in my profile for wanting, and when it came available on NAF sale, I was so glad to grab it.
And since
It's a,
Kyle's in here, you just asked him about a chisel grind. So I just got this old school performance SNG, and Strider and everybody they call it the asymmetrical edge. But isn't that the same thing as a chisel grind? It's only sharpened on one side.
that's
They
what
call it,
asymmetrical means. Is one side's
yeah.
going to
Wouldn't
be
that just be
different
a
than the
fancy
other.
word for a chisel grind?
Kyle says he's probably going to bounce out and go watch somebody else go watch or go watch bees because he's not getting taxed. Come
Oh
on, Kyle.
man.
I know it sucks to have to type. I'll send you a link.
So what's new? What's new in the? I haven't been on
Dude,
in practically a month.
man, there's no telling. In a month, I've gotten probably a bunch of stuff, but I haven't felt like I brought in a lot. I got a great deal that's still available. But you're not a Brian Brown guy. I mean, this is a smaller knife, but this is a Brian Brown Raptor V2
Mm-hmm.
and deep hollow grind. He's the same guy that made my Jaeger M. And this particular color of carbon fiber, I guess because it's fucking toxic green, is over $100 cheaper than the blue or the Mars carbon fiber. So I got a text from Smoky Mountain Knives because they're exclusive one day telling me this was such a great deal. And I looked at it and I was like, fuck, it's a great deal. And I just bought it on impulse, which is usually, this is well over my impulse comfort level.
I've had a
But
couple impulse buys the last couple weeks.
But this is one that was an impulse buy, and then I've got a Hurricane Razor, which will be my second one of those coming in. Have you seen those before? A Hurricane Razor? That's something that I first saw on Tri-State Show or his channel, but it's this guy Amsler Tool Company, and Amsler only sells on Etsy that I'm aware of. But this is the mini. So the one I've got coming is a full size, which is more the size of a pen. So let me grab my River's Edge Cutlery ballpoint pen so you can use that as scale. So that shows you how long this little razor is. But this razor is this wicked little Tanto MagnaCut that's like 64, 65. It does have this 80s splatter paint on it, DLC or whatever. But it's just a little, Slurpee saver.
It just looks like I'd cut myself with it really bad.
Well, and you really, it's got a great retention, which I think is almost too good. I'm curious how the bigger will be, because what's great about this and the retention being so tight is I wear it as a neck knife, but if I was still working, you could put it, because the clip works great. You could just put it in your button down and it would look like a pen sticking up. But then you've got, as long as you just grab it by the sides, you've got this killer little detractor or package opener, letter opener, because it's sharpened on two sides. And Amsler Tools, if you ever want him to, send it to him. I think he said it's 17 degrees aside, but he'll sharpen it, give you lifetime sharpening. Not that I'd ever send it back for sharpening, but he would do that for you. And then I found another Etsy company that Pocket Metal turned me on to that have been responsible for a couple of unboxings. This is Teal Design Company, and this is their pry bar, which looks kind of like a regular pry, and then it's got a pocket clip on this side, and this is just anodized, so it's kind of a purpley color where this is blue, but it's got these rare earth magnets that will take these bits, and it'll hold 4 bits inside of it, and I can pop this bit in the end. It's got a magnet, or if I need more torque, I can put that bit right there. So I carry it with a Phillips head, and then a 6, an 8, and a 10. But there's no rattle. You can't hear the bits moving because the magnets are so strong. But it's just a cool little pry. I keep it in my bug out bag, if you want to call it that. And then this is what drew me to them. This little, and I would think that Satu Dave would like this, because this guy makes these in his garage. It's titanium, very rustic. And I took it apart because it's not the same lock as a shark lock, but you actuate it the same way. So I cannot overcome the thumb stud. So if I give it my full fit thumb flick, it will pop back. There's no way it'll open up. So I can slow walk it, and then I've got to have super strong thumbs to lock it in. And then it's a locked in utility knife. Or I can just give it one of these. Whoops. I'm missing it. Massive fail. But usually it just locks into place. But it's a rustic. You look at it, it's definitely something he designed, he tooled out. He's even got a little Benchmade style clip on this one. But if you look at the kind of steampunkness of how he keeps the blade in there, it's cool. And I wanted to kind of support him, so I picked it up. It's not cheap, but I thought it was neat. So I've kind of been looking at stuff outside of the norm, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
then, haven't jumped. And then I had Lord Needham, God bless him, let his carbon fiber nimble go, or not nimble, his null knives voodoo, which I was able to pick up because of his kindness, and it not being exactly what he hoped it'd be.
I
And then
blame this one on you.
oh, dude, that's so
I
good.
bought this. So what was that? A month ago, I was on your live. The
Uh-huh.
very next day, I bought
It is
this.
great. I mean, it is noisy, but I saw
But I
that
bought it
they.
because I like the sound. If anybody wants to buy it, I haven't carried it yet. I don't.
Have you tried to carry it?
I I did the unboxing. I haven't posted that yet, and then I messed around with it that night, and I had all intentions like of taking it to work because I wanted to
And
see like in a dirty work environment how it would perform. Like if if dirt
oh,
and gunk
dude,
got there.
yeah, it comes apart so simply. I would
Yeah,
think it would be
but
a dirty
I haven't.
world
I
performer.
literally I grabbed this from upstairs because I was going to come on here. I haven't touched this in 2 weeks.
Is that
I don't,
what color? Is it the same pine carbon fiber or what is the inlay?
it's no, it's like I can't remember what they call it. The boxes somewhere around here. It's the
Black and tan
uh,
micarta or something?
yeah, it's called the black and green burl micarta,
Ah,
but I don't see any green. But
very nice.
yeah, if anybody
Yeah,
wants
I
it,
hate
hit me
that you
up.
don't like it. That's like my buddy A to Z EDC. He's like, well, if I don't carry it, I'm like, dude, you got 150, 200 knives. Of course, you're not going to carry it as much. That doesn't mean it's not something you're going to miss. Because I carry this quite a bit, but and it's a great cutter. I mean, yeah, it'd be better if it was a deep hollow grind, but I can I've even looked at the mini that's come out and I've kind of thought about and then I showed this one a couple lives ago. Have you seen this little guy? The little meerkat? The
Mm-mm.
this is a
Who's
Max Ace Meerkat that Jared Neves did a review on. I got it at White Mountain Knives, but it's S90V. It's titanium, and it was under 150 bucks. But the clip is kind of stiff, right? So it's too short. So, but it works for me. But Jared made a big stink about it, thank God, and reached out to him, and they've offered another clip where I went on their site, and for 1 penny plus shipping, I was able to get a clip that comes out to where my middle finger is. So it
mm-hmm.
doesn't get in that lock bar. It actually makes it over and spans to the part where the lock bar is not. And so, they listened to a concerned community via Jared and changed it for 1 penny, plus like $14 shipping, which a lot of people were bitching about. But I was thinking, guys, these people are making a part and shipping it across the world because people complain. And I've got the short version and it goes in and out of my pocket fine. I think they're doing above and beyond what anybody would hope for.
Got a new flashlight.
What'd you get? Ooh, is that a CW?
Yeah, the that is rest in peace forever probably. I'm hoping it's a mess back here and it's so small I haven't found it, but I don't think it is.
Yeah, hopefully
So yeah, I think it's gone. So I know Lefty likes his. I talked to a buddy. I mean, I'm not all of a sudden all this copper crap. I'm the guy. He didn't have any just plain tie. It was this or like rose gold. So
I like the weight of that.
I do like. I just got a bunch of batteries in the mail today for it, so I can have extra batteries when I go on the road. Because that's the problem. Like now with it, like with our work, like being fall, like we start in the morning and it's dark, and we end when it's dark. And I mean, even in the daylight today, I was inspecting a bin, and
Like you say, it could be midnight just when you're inside the bin.
yeah, so it's so handy to have a light. I do. It did, this was stonewashed copper, and just after a week with it, I mean, it's turning just super dark. And like this copper SMS last time I was on your show. I've been carrying this thing a month. It's darkened up a bit, but it hasn't gotten
Dude, that's beautiful.
super. Yeah, it's heavy. It is heavy.
Yeah, but don't you enjoy it?
So, oh, I love it. I love the weight. It feels great in hand. Dave was like, "Well, if you want to sell that." By the way, I talked to Dave the other day, and he's down for whatever you want us to do for Knives Live. So,
Oh, sweet, buddy. I've got to get, and Lefty and I, now that he's settled in, I need to talk to him about that and just basically come up with a schedule. That's really what we need to do so I can start marketing it, is determine, are we going to do it one day or are we going to do it the whole weekend? And there's a group that I've got built on Facebook, not on Facebook, on Instagram. And I've had several people pull out of there recently. I don't know why, but it doesn't matter. But just to get a kind of consensus, because I heard that thanks to Tri-State that Metal Complex wants to participate, which I think the more people that we can bring in, I'd love for you to have a spot, Scotch, Dave, however we can get people in, and whether it's 24 or 48 hours, it's just doing an hour, right? And that's
yeah,
short for me. And hopefully it brings not only awareness to those channels, but it brings awareness to Knife Rights. And we beat last year's goal, which last year, and that's the other part that I've got to figure out how to do. When Shane pulled out, it was no fault of his, but it's the reaching out to all the companies. I got to get that list from him and figure out how he went after, people that were nice enough to donate killer prizes. So we had great stuff to give away. And Kyle Coonley, I will definitely go up there and look at how you handle that A100. I appreciate it, buddy.
Marisol, yeah, I used it today, and on high, I couldn't. It cut power on me. So I really like the light, but it's not as, or it doesn't last as long. And I'm still trying. I haven't touched it. Like, he gives you a list of all the things you can do to program it.
Oh yeah.
Like,
But once you do it, because that's what Lefty was telling me, that circuit board, the way it's patched through, or like the 5 different ways you can program it, do affect battery life. So
yeah,
like a couple of settings on the higher settings, you would think that would slow battery life, but Lefty says it doesn't. It's if you've got more choices in between that chip, like different brightnesses, it's more taxing on the battery, which I didn't understand.
because I've got to read his card again, because there's low. Oh, Jesus. I don't know what I've got. Like, sometimes it strobes and sometimes it doesn't. I don't know
Well,
what.
there's a full push and a half push
Half push?
dynamic. Yeah, there's some kind of weird dynamic in that control pad. And once you get comfortable with it, I think it's and that's kind of been my quest. Now, I've never gone that route, even though I think that's probably the finest flashlight out there, but I've never gone over, I want to say $120. And the one
What light was it?
well, I've just never gone. The one that I've settled on is this Rovivon, but my most recent is the Rovivon Titanium A24, and it was like $85. But the back button is, you just push it and it gives you high beam, which I like that about it. Simple. If I ever touch the back button, except to lock it out, it gives me the high beam. And the front button, I've got to push it twice, click, click, and then it gives me the last set brightness. And then I just simply cycle through the brightnesses from moonlight to low to medium to high, to moonlight to low to medium to high, to just turn it off. But what I love about it, and what I loved about the small one, which I'm thinking about getting the small one in a titanium, because they make it, because it's got one button and it's only 650 lumens, which is not a lot, but one button, you push it. I've got this one locked out. Hold on. All right, I had that one on lockout, but you just push the button and it does the same thing. You get the full 650 lumens. You push it twice and it hits the last thing that it remembers, and then it goes moonlight, low, high. So why I like it, for somebody like me, it's foolproof. Where before this, my favorite light was my little Dapper Ion. But it's got so many different settings, kind of like the CW. You just got to, once you know the settings, you're good to go, right?
Yeah.
But you
And I'm
just got to drill
hoping,
those.
hasn't Kevin had to send one in for, I'm hoping it's durable. Like,
Yeah, it is. It is durable, and they're 100% lifetime warranty, if I'm
oh,
not
the
mistaken.
guy. So I was on a job site and my internet was horrible, and it gave me the option to pay with PayPal. And I tried it twice and it just wasn't connecting. But then I was able to get through PayPal and I had 2 charges on there. I was like, oh. So I emailed him and explained the situation. 10 minutes later, he called me on the phone.
Dude, I
So,
mean, like I'm saying,
oh,
that's the kind of guy that you want to do business with,
oh,
and
definitely.
you got a piece that he'll stand beside it. I know Kevin has had a couple of things he sent in. Mearsalt, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, buddy, channel member. And I'm not watching anything. That's why I'm terrible when I've got somebody hanging out with me that I don't see what's going on in the chat. What did I miss?
Kyle, you'll have to send me a message with all these lights you're talking about. I don't need to go down that rabbit hole. I just needed, like, I love that Akluma, and then it went missing, and my heart broke. And they're hard. All these high-end flashlights are hard
Oh,
to get, and he
Mearsalt
just
probably
never
beat
used
me
them.
up on my flashlight because I should be showing him his favorite brand.
See, and I've got O-lights everywhere. I can't find a single charger for any of them.
I'm kidding. I'll send you a charger. He hates the lights. I was gonna give one away in a giveaway one night, and he wants one. He's like, dude, I want the light. And I've learned that since that's a big slap in the face.
Deal. Yeah, it's nice. I mean, it's slim, and this thing, I could probably take the pocket clip off. I don't know why I don't. Like, it just rides in the bottom of my pocket, banging around, and
Well, see,
so
I put the pocket clip on mine for two reasons. One is it'll either drop in my pocket or I can put it on my hat with it facing out. But that's where the magnet attachment is on this one. It doesn't have a tail magnetic for this titanium, but it's got this magnetic rail. So if I go pop, I can set it on a car hood or I can set it on an A pillar and light it. Mod light is another favorite. See, guys, I've not jumped down that rabbit hole. Nor what I do is I go through Amazon, which is the worst, but I try to pick out ones that I'd want. And tonight, as a matter of fact, I forgot. And I'm glad y'all reminded me of that. In our general giveaway, I'm adding a light to that. And it's one that I picked up. Hold on, I know you can't hear me. Get in there, bitch. So it's one that I'd heard about here, and I picked up on Amazon, and it's low. I want to say it's about 600 lumens. Let's see. That's got high, low. Very simple. It's an Archer through night. And I'm going to include that tonight. But there's so many great little lights out there. But to have a light like you got, Scotch, that's a handmade light with those little, you can go down the rabbit hole of those chips that
yeah.
are in it, set it up, and you're thinking, oh my God, it's just a light. No, it's got different settings for different things. It's like a whole nother rabbit hole. But high offensive lights. Let me pull this up and we'll share it. All right, I'm going to have to open my other YouTube. Keep in mind, guys, if I crash this, y'all just sit tight. I will be back. Let me go to this. Uh-oh. No more. Sorry about that. All right, there goes Kyle's. All right, now I can share, see? All right, guys, these are the lights.
Excuse me.
Bless you, brother.
Thank you.
These are the Cloud Defensive. Are you familiar with them, Scott?
I've heard of them. How? Well, they're not. I mean, honestly, for what I paid for that thing, that's like half.
Yeah, yeah, they're not. I mean, and like these little small ones, I'm not a big ring guy, but like dual fuel, that's probably cool as shit. That's probably half. $60 a Sezzle. See, I see that and I go, I'm in. I'm not into the Captain America look. It's a little bit big. Let's go in and let's find some more. Am I still sharing when I do that? When I flip from tab to tab?
Yeah, I can see it.
All right, because I like that black one. Midnight Black. $60 Sezzle. What's the story? What's the story? These are limited. 18650 or two CR 123s. So what's the deal there? I mean, okay, 80,000 candela, 1100 lumens, or 400 lumens for 70 minutes. Why would I choose two CR 123As as my choice? Is it just because if I wanted a lighter or not as bright of a light? See that?
Can you stack them?
Well, this is what you do. You can stack.
It's either or.
Yes, either or. I think that's the deal, that the body will house either or, which makes sense that they're different. And that black one looks fatter there, but it's not. Let's go back and see if they've got anything. Why do they call it dual fuel? I guess because they'll use two different types of batteries. Yeah, the single 18650 for 1175 minutes, or two stacked 123As, which I guess that makes sense. So Kyle, are you crazy about these guys? Which one? See it or not? Let's see. See it. Ah, I got you. So they're kind of like my little Roby Vons, except not better. They're better lights. I got you. Because these Roby Vons, these little A series, and I'll probably break my nail because I don't think this one's going to open easily. I got my pry bar. Hold on. So this one, it's got I can turn it on or push it twice and it comes on, but I've got this AAA in here. Hold on. I'm trying to hold too much shit. So that's the ion part that you charge in the computer, but then it's got a AAA, so you can carry a pack full of AAAs and it'll lock up. So if you're out to where you can't charge it, and then it just switched to that green light there. I don't know if you can see that anymore. But now I'm on that AA battery. So that's one kind of dual fuel, but it's not nearly as cool as that Defender. Yeah, all you need is an Olight Mini. But again, it's like they say all you need is a rat too, but we all love all kinds of different shit.
That's the thing. There's options. I mean, if I can buy an American Light, I'll buy an American Light.
Was that the Cloud Defense, Kyle? Oh, here it is. Hold on. Let me go back to let me find this other
link.
link.
Budget link in the chat. Yeah, he mentioned there was one that was like $65.
I gotta open it. Kyle code. Let's see. All right, there it is.
I know you're not in many Facebook groups.
No.
Anybody catch the Medford drama earlier this week?
With the guys that left, he made a video about it.
I'm gonna use you guys as a sounding board. I started making a video this morning on my way to work, and I didn't want to remember my drama with that guy that I had mod my knife. that worked
I
for
remember
Medford.
you saying something about that. Yes.
Same. That's who he was talking about. And
Okay.
my buddy has $1,100 worth of knives with him right now. Plus, he prepaid him for the work, and he's had them 8 months. And I talked to another guy last night who had 6 knives with him, and he had them. Some were 6 months, some were 9 months. When he got them back, he sent them into Medford, and Medford fixed them. Medford had to reblade one, and some more were messed up. And he said it was the same. Some of them were the same shit like mine. Like they came back modded differently than they talked about. And I
Remember
was
that specifically.
so Medford made a video, and then so this guy's in a bunch of the Medford Facebook groups.
He's a
And
moderator. One of them is a moderator, right?
he is, and they started kind of mocking Greg, and then there's like these guys that dogpile, and Greg's very polarizing. You love him, you hate him, whatever, but he's kind of a straight shooter. He just gives it to you straight, and if you like it, nice. If you don't, whatever. But it really pissed me off. These guys are kind of dogpiling on Greg, and this dude's a fucking tool bag, man. And so he's got a history of fucking people over and doing shit like this. And he's in there kind of laughing and joking and making fun. And these guys are all nut swingers, and we got your back.
Does he pin himself out there as kind of like a Medford guy because he used to work there, or is he just put himself out there as a collector
Yeah,
extraordinaire?
and he's he's a modder, but I haven't really seen him mod any other knife other than a Medford, and I haven't seen him in any other group other than the Medford group. So maybe he is. He branched out. I saw him. He was in a Chris Reeve group he started posting in, but it's just like he got a laser engraving machine and he's been fucking around with that. And I wanted to, but my buddy doesn't want to say anything right now because he's got 2 knives and $500 cash tied up with this guy. So,
and that's been, you said 6-8 months.
He's had them 8 months. Has 2 knives.
Does this guy go radio silent, or does he just kind of say, I'm just backed up? Does he kind of continue to communicate? I know that doesn't make it right.
He talked to him a month ago. And I've got all my conversations still on Instagram with him. I mean, I could blast the guy and show him, but same thing though. My buddy talked to him. He's like, hey man, just send the knives back. Just send them back. And the guy goes, oh, they're next on my list. And that was a month ago. And he's been radio silent since.
Has he been, because I didn't know anything about Greg's lifetime spa service or his mod service until that video. Is this guy like been pricing himself a lot lower to pimp your knife, or does he do things outside of what Greg would even? And I imagine Greg's not easy to deal with.
Greg, my buddy has sent stuff in for their legendary stuff, and it's quick turnaround time, and he didn't think it was super expensive. He's had hardware changed out. Because he's really into that whole modding thing. So he's right. I mean, he had a point. Like, if the fucking manufacturer is willing to mod the knife,
yeah, go there.
Send it in.
Well, I got a lot of respect, and respect's maybe the right word, but I like that video. He deleted the first one, and I was watching it and thought it started stuttering, and I backed out. Then I realized it had been deleted, the one that he was really going off on. I wish I guess the patrons could still see it. But about a week before that, this chopping board guy about the sharpening. And Greg, wasn't slamming the guy. He brought his guys in there and made like a teaching moment. Guys, we can't have knives go out that are less than what we'd all want, and I thought that was a good video. I thought that was, because I've worked with teams of people before, and I don't think he belittled anybody. He just looked for accountability and a system from that situation so that it wouldn't happen again. And from the manufacturer to be an end user, that's all I can hope for, is that they're identifying problems and putting systems in place to try to prevent them from happening.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. We'll see how. I mean, the guy's gonna eventually burn him. You can only screw over so many people before it catches up with you.
Hey, I've got a guest jumping in. Welcome, Panty Pirate. What's up, buddy?
Man,
Where the hell did Steve go?
I'm here. Can you see me?
Can you not
No.
see him at the top? He's in the top right.
I know, but his screen's black. When I was watching you live, I could see him, but now he's just a blank page.
Man, I can see him just clear as day.
Well, you're not doing shit either. You're not moving. You're still holding your goatee that you've been holding for 10 minutes.
You need
It's
to
that
bounce out and
hillbilly
come back
internet.
in.
Yeah.
Man,
Oh,
everybody's saying, hey, Dark Gravity, you're moving normal. I mean, it's like you're right here on time.
I can
Your
see you
mouse-
fine.
huh.
Yeah, if
I
it's
don't
not
know.
bothering you, you look fine.
Well, hang on a second. Let me see. I don't know if I'm on Wi-Fi or regular thing or what. Hang on.
You're about as pretty as I am. I mean, I don't know if
That
people really
beard's
want to
getting
see this
impressive
shit.
every week. I think he's got Stevie beat in beard length.
Yeah. Mine starts to get like this, and my wife's like, cut it, trim it up.
His is all natural. He doesn't even put oil in it.
Okay, now y'all are loaded.
Sweet. Dude, the beard's
what it was.
impressive.
It's still got a ways to go, but this
Somebody's
is probably
got a
about as long.
screenshot of that.
This is about as long as they'll probably let me have it at work.
That's a good link for you. I mean, I think it doesn't make you look any older. It just makes you look wise as fuck. You looked wise before, but
I liked it the most when it was about twice as long as it is now.
yeah. And when you retire, you could do that David Letterman thing. I respected him for what he did when he got off the air. You know, he just let it grow and grow and grow. And then he had his show where he'd sit down and he looked like Santa.
Well, at work, some of the guys, they don't let grow it out, that have tried to, because they work around moving machinery. And of course, you get a hold of something like this, it's going to pull your head inside the machine.
But
What's
you're
up,
walking
everybody?
around. You're walking around most of the time, right? Because you supervise a lot of those people.
No, I work off by myself, but I don't work with moving equipment. Everything I work with is stationary. Because I build it, I put it together. And so, well, I mean, the crane moves, but it's 50 feet up in the air or 100 feet up in the air, however high it is. But as far as what I actually work with that's around me, it's all stationary unless I move it.
Man, I'm trying to remember what was my squirrel brain just went off. Go ahead. Hopefully
I was going to say hi to everybody. I forgot to charge my laptop, so I can't see the chat. All I can see is what's on my phone screen.
What I'm popping up?
Yeah, and what you're popping up. So.
Yeah, Junior Miz, everybody's saying hi to you, buddy. I'll go back up here. I
Yeah,
like
I know
that. Kids calling you Dark Santa.
A 4 foot. I don't know if it would. This is, I would say, probably. It ain't even 6 months, maybe 4.
Oh, I know. It seems like you've grown it in no time, and it's been full the whole time.
It's because I shaved. I think I told you all this story. I shaved and on a Saturday, and then went to my mom's on Sunday to eat lunch, and all my family's there, and everybody just stopped when I walked in. And I didn't shave completely off. I shaved to about like Steve, but I looked like my dad did, before he passed away. And so everybody just, yeah, because my dad, when he stopped working for TVA, he didn't shave all the time like he had to when he worked out at the nuclear plant. And so he, grew it out, got a little scruffy, like I said, about like Steve's is, and I shaved mine down like that, and it just freaked everybody out.
So
And
you let it
so,
grow from that point on?
yeah, I started letting it grow again. I hadn't shaved since then.
I think it looks good, man. If I could grow a manly beard, and I say that in just all gender neutral this way I know how, but
You don't
it's
want to upset anybody.
you don't want to say anybody, but that's a manly beard. I like it. I mean, it's taken me a year, over a year to grow mine.
I was
You know,
gonna
and
say you've been growing that for a minute.
I have been, and I've always wondered if I just let the sides go because I still shave those every couple of days. I have to go in, and it probably wouldn't take long because I noticed JB's let his fill in now. Have you noticed? Have you
Yeah,
seen Big Red lately? Where his is
yeah.
all kind
Well,
of one thing.
he seems to go back and forth with doing that.
Yeah, I just
Um,
wonder. I don't know if mine would. Now's the time to try it while I'm kind of on my self discovery phase.
yeah, but the thing is, you know, when you start to run out of money, then you gotta start, you gotta
Oh yeah.
end your self discovery before you run out of money, not
Well,
after.
I'm not gonna let those butt up to each other. But my plan is, and the people I'm talking to now are one of them's in Mountain View. They're from California. They're not anti long hair. They're not anti beard. And if I tell them I've got a persona, which in cases I do, I've got a legit brand that I kind of have a logo at least that looks like it. I can sell it off as I'm not just some homeless dude, right? Hopefully. And if not, I'll
Well,
conform. I've conformed
Gamma.
before.
I've
the
seen
thing is,
a couple times. They put on a good show.
is you can have facial hair and you know all that kind of crap and still be professional. I mean, the old. I mean, there's still some people that carry that old philosophy of you know, clean cut suit, blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff. But most of that's I think faded away.
Well,
Um,
and I think there's a place that you get where you have to go full conform. But I think at my age, where I am kind of past that I'm going to be dealing with the age thing anyway. And I can kind of do my own thing if I need to with digital media, knowing what I know. Um, but I'm not opposed to working with other people by any means. I enjoy that more, being part of a team. But I've got
but
time to kind of figure that out.
the only place that you need to be wear a suit is really a bank.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I don't. Even the president, I don't give a shit if he wears a suit or not.
Well, in government,
Um,
I think a lot of positions they're expected to wear suits for depending on what their title is.
well, yeah, it's kind of. It actually, I don't know if there's a dress code or not. It's
Dude, it's
um,
weird. I mean, if you go read Gallup's Strength Finder and you look at all these corporate philosophies, and you go to leadership schools, and there's so much psychology that I don't buy into because the people that wrote the training, it's so 20 years ago that suits are
well,
a way to
and the
exude
people,
power.
the thing, you know, after all these years, and Steve is a good example of it. You know, the people, and he'll probably agree with this. The people who write those leadership books ain't never led a fucking thing. I
No.
mean, it's just like at my work. The people who come, the safety man that comes up with all these safety rules, his hands are more delicate than my granddaughter's.
He's never spent time in a plant, probably.
He's never turned a wrench yet, but but on the flip side, he can come out there and tell those of us who've been turning wrenches for 30 years how to turn a wrench safely.
No,
And I mean,
my previous company was all about that. I mean, have you heard of like Dale Carnegie training?
yeah.
I mean, been through all that crap, and what's the guy's name?
Corporate interest, Honey Bear. Brooks
Um,
Brothers in there.
Maxwell. God dang it!
Grant Cardone phone ups. I had to do his power phone ups training when I first got into sales in the car business. That was
Well,
God.
I ended up by accident in corporate and had to do all that crap, and I hated it. And I would tell people all the time, "This is fucking stupid. Y'all are retarded. Nobody talks this way. Nobody acts this way. And where I'm at now, I had my annual review either yesterday or Wednesday. I don't remember which day. And he was like, he's telling me I needed to start doing this, that, and the other, as far as, you've got, decades of experience and you need to start leading and showing these. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck about them, Eric. I'm going to, they can figure it out on their own.
I mean, was the biggest joke like I've ever. God damn it! Now I'm trying to. There's some author. God, I've seen it. We had to see him speak a couple times. Met him in person. Got a book. Maxwell. Fuck, I can't.
It's anti-synergy is what it is, and it's people that come in and try to fix. Again, what he wanted you to do is try to develop somebody who is probably not going to be there, don't give a shit to be developed.
Well, no, what it is he just had to put something on a piece of fucking paper, I think.
Check a box.
Yeah, he had to check a box, because if he cared about that, he would have said something long before my evaluation. I mean, I see him every day.
Sure.
And I mean, if he thought, hey, why don't you go talk to these guys? Why don't you go do this? Why don't you go do that? He would have said it long before we sat down and he has to check boxes on this piece of paper.
Dude, it's been eye-opening. It's been eye-opening to me. You see strength and weakness at times of kind of turmoil, and I've seen strength come out of people in the company I used to work for that, I don't think it was on their shoulders to be strong, but they were strong, and then I just seen weakness. I mean, like you wouldn't believe. It's eye-opening. It's an eye-opening position to be in. But what I love about it is I had foresight. A lot of foresight where a lot of people didn't. I mean, it actually worked out for me differently than I would have planned for it to.
Well, and
I would have thought I'd been back at work by now.
All of that kind of stuff though happens, if you're moving forward doing the right thing, everything happens the way it's supposed to. Absolutely. Me and my wife were talking about that with, my little side business that I've started doing, and, and it's, and the fact that I've tried starting other businesses, and that's the thing, and there is some of that whole deal that, isn't complete mumbo jumbo. The thing about being an entrepreneur is not that you start a business and you blow up and you're hugely successful. It's that you keep trying even when you fail, and you try to develop, a business. And I've tried to do different things and, just branch out on my own, not with my family like we did before, and not with, just me. This is just my deal. And, not that other people won't get brought along in the future, but right now this is just my deal. And it just took me to keep trying to figure out what to do. That part of the shit they teach is true. If you don't try, you never will.
No, and I do think that you've got to have that foundation of loving or liking or interest in what you do. You can't just go out and do something because it's the thing to do. I mean, I don't think you can develop an interest because of the return.
Well, that was the guy I was talking to yesterday at work, and I didn't even know he was a knife fanatic. But another one of my coworkers, because I don't see this particular guy very often, because he moves around a lot. He's one of the other maintenance guys that works in another area, but he was over in area where I work at, and a couple of the guys were, I don't know, they said something about, me selling stuff. And so he really started asking me a lot of questions. And selling knives is something I've actually looked into in the past. It's been a number of years ago now, probably 5 or 6 maybe. And I started talking to some of the distributors, and a lot of people don't realize it takes a huge chunk of change to start being a knife seller. If you're going to do it on any kind of a retail level. And I don't remember exactly, but it was somewhere in the neighborhood of your first minimum purchase, and you had to do this every so often. It was like once every 3 months, or I can't remember. But
it's quite a commitment.
That, you know, like I said, before all this shit went sideways, this, that, and the other, and Benchmade's prices weren't through the roof. You know, to tell you how long ago that was, when their prices were actually more reasonable. It was, you had to, you know, your first initial purchase with one of the distributors I was talking to was like 10 grand.
And yeah,
and you don't even get to pick and choose. It's not like you get to get $10,000 worth of, you know, gangster knives. You just get whatever the fuck's in the batch.
A lot,
like,
they call it.
Right. And so, like, Spyderco was the example I was giving Jay at work. I said, you take Spyderco, and I saw this especially with Justin, you know, because he's in that Spyderco club or whatever, where he gets all those knives.
Mm-hmm.
Spyderco's got some knives that will disappear out of your, you know, if you get them, they're gone. You know, the PM2, the Para 3, you know, the Shaman, you know, the Endura, the Indela, the Delica, you know, all those kind of knives. Those knives sell quick. And you know, some of the other, Mannix and stuff like that. But then you've got your ones that you may sit on till, especially serrated. Oh my God, you can't give serrated.
Shoes, I think 80% of their knives are probably knives that you'll sit on as a dealer.
Right.
If you look at it, if you look at the whole portfolio.
But the problem is you get, you know, 80%, that 80% of what you get is shit that ain't gonna move quick. And then you're stuck sitting on it. But guess what? At the end of the month, you got to drop another 10 grand on the next batch. And you're going to get 80% of those that are just going to fucking sit.
How do small distributors, like, is Justin not a distributor? Is he just buying and selling from Benchmade?
Oh, I don't know what Justin's doing as far as that goes. I was just using Spyderco as an example, talking to my coworker.
But I was just thinking out loud of how Justin's managing to turn around. I know how he turns around the Tucsons, but I think he carries some other nice knives too. Maybe it comes from his Spyderco club that he just sells some of his personal knives.
I know he's been doing that forever. But now, like I said, I don't know exactly how and what he cycles through. I know that the knives he gets through the Spyderco club, he has listed on their store or in their store. But like I said, and I mean, some places will let you do in smaller lots if you can go and deal with, and, you know, and I don't know how it is today. This was years ago. This was me talking to some distributors. You know, there may be, and when I started running into these big numbers that I didn't have, you know, just lying around to go stick, you know, somewhere and not know I'm going to make X amount of dollars a week doing it, you know, to recoup, you know, the math didn't work out at the time is really what it is, basically, to put it simple.
Right.
It may be that, like, in, you know, if I was to contact Tucson today, that I could set up a deal, you know, and buy a random number, and I don't, you know, I don't know. But my point is that what I was telling Jay, if you love knives, you're going to figure out a way to be a knife dealer if that's what you want to do.
Agreed. You'll find a way to make it work, right?
Just take whatever you love and figure out a way to sell it. There's one guy, and I cannot, now that I'm trying to talk about him, it's on Instagram, and he's in the knife community, but he loved this, and this happened, I don't know, a couple of years ago or so, I think back during COVID. He loves to paint. And he just started posting his paintings and stuff like that. And I guess and I know he sells them. You know, and that was something else that he loved besides knives, and he just figured out a way to sell it.
I think that's what a lot of people's kind of reinventing themselves during lockdown and stuff like that. I think it's fantastic. You know, if you can get your side hustle and build it up to be your primary. I look at John and Jamie Rusk for EMP EDC. You know, that's the whole reason we have a Nimble, was because of lockdown and him losing his job and saying, all right, I can either try to do something else or we can balls up and go everything we got at this design. And they decided, him and his wife, to go for it with the Nimble, and it paid dividends. But that was a risk. I mean,
Well, but the thing is if you're selling what you love, if you're doing what you love, there's not a substantial, because if you're doing something with passion and with enjoyment, that becomes infectious.
yeah,
You
but I
know,
kind of
and
think, maybe he was, because I didn't know him at the time. I know him now, and I know he's very passionate about what he does. And maybe when he talked to people like Lefty and Stasa, that the passion kind of preceded the knife. But I think when you just hold it, it's, even if it's too small for you, you appreciate what it is, right?
yeah, but I'm not talking about the selling it. I'm talking about the creating the environment, creating the world,
Sure.
of EMP EDC. For him to create that world, he had to infect the world with his passion, with his,
Absolutely.
and it manifested itself in a cool pocket knife. And then
That's right.
he took what the manifestation of his passion and showed it to other people, and they loved it too. And then it went from there. You can be passionate about it, but if you're passionate about turds, you're not going to sell. I mean, you'll find your niche, your few niche people.
You gotta find your clientele.
You'll find your clientele with modern society, but if you're passionate about turds, you're not going to probably make a very good living off of it, unless you're selling fertilizer.
It would be hard for knives, like to open up a knife store. I would want to sell knives I enjoy, and that's a small percent of what the broader spectrum is,
Well, that's one of the things that I thought was interesting in what Greg said in his video, the last one. There are not that many crazy people who want to spend over $1,000 on a knife. He realizes that, but he doesn't also falsely underproduce to drive the prices up on the secondary. He was talking something about that.
But what Steve was saying is he would love to have a store where he carried, higher end knives. You can do that, but just like in the case of what I do, there's certain things that I'm actually out hunting trying to find, and the other just pays for that.
Yeah.
And so you have to do.
It took me 2 years to get this knife.
Right. But the thing is you'd carry, if that's what you wanted to sell, because it's very difficult to move those on a regular basis and make a living off of it, you would have to sell the other. That may be your passion, but you do the other. You have the other for bread and butter.
Benchmades and
that's what I do. Is I sell regular old jeans and regular old t-shirts and regular, dress shirts, because I'm looking for, old stuff from, the 60s, 70s, and 50s or whatever, and if I find that, then, or if I get to the point where I have enough money where I can, feel comfortable buying it, that other stuff pays for that. And that's what, that's what Walmart does. Walmart has the grocery section that pays for everything else in the store. And everything else is just a little bit of money. I mean, if you think about the turnover of the products in the grocery store section of Walmart versus the turnover of products in the clothing section versus turnover of the products in sporting goods versus turnover of products in the medical area, the thing they turn over the most that pays most of their bills is groceries.
They lose a shitload of money on groceries, though.
Huh?
They lose a shitload of money on groceries. I was in that industry for 30 years. They have lost every thing of mayonnaise that goes out there. They're losing $1 or $2 a jar.
Well, some stuff
their private label they make a fuck ton of money on.
Yeah, theirs they break even. Yeah. But Walmart uses that huge volume turnover to where they make in the case of Walmart, they buy at such a large scale and they only make a penny per item, but that's still, as much as they move, that penny adds up. And the big part of it is to get you in this store to buy the other stuff. That's why the other stuff is all bright and shiny and pretty, and the grocery section is a pain in the ass.
Merchandising, baby. That's why end caps are so valuable. What are you playing with up there, Scotch?
This is Eric Luther Orphan, and Steve Clare just came in.
Somebody asked about that. Steve was asking about that when he came in.
Because he's got a Warnock or a.
And I made him a moderator because he wasn't a moderator. Steve, you're set up now, my friend.
So I'll put this video out in a couple days or a week. I've got videos just backed up. So I got this on Tuesday, and I got offered one in a trade last year, and I was like, man, that light shape just doesn't look useful at all. It looks cool as shit. And I turned down the trade, and I've just thought about it ever since. And one popped up for sale in the Facebook groups just last week at a smoking deal, but it had G10 in it, and I'm a titanium fan. So what do? I do the stupid thing and find the most expensive one I can find to buy. I freaking love it.
You saw the G10 one, and it gave you the go ahead to just grab one, and you went and found one that was decked the way you liked it.
Just except like in my unboxing, I'm like, I forgot. Like I kept forgetting that. Like so I bought this last Friday night or Saturday night. And the speed holes, I'm not a speed hole guy. Like I don't get it in knives. I don't. And then it showed up and I forgot. I'm like, so in the unboxing, I'm kind of like lukewarm on the speed holes. They're fine. Damascus, I was kind of bummed too. I didn't pay attention. He puts see that line right there?
Yeah.
Well, in all the other orphans I've seen, that's a full, so you can probably finger flick it. But I've carried this nonstop. I didn't think I'd take it I've been carrying it at work. This Damascus with a MagnaCut core. I've never seen MagnaCut used in Damascus yet. Chad Nichols.
That looks like a wicked hollow grind too.
Dude, it is, and this thing, I mean, it's all scratched up already. I mean, it was stupid expensive, and it's all dinged up and scratched up, and anything I can find to cut with it, I can cut with it, because I was like, that blade's just kind of, what's it good for? Like, I like stabbing into stuff. Well, it's got a decent point, and I can stab in and cut, and dude, I'm a fan, man. It developed. I was out walking the dog, talking to Dave on the phone. Was that Tuesday? It was Tuesday. We got winded out at work. And so I'm talking with Dave, and it just developed some wicked lock stick, man. It was lock stick where I was like 2-fingering it to get the lock, and just some Sharpie, and it's worked in, and it's perfect now. And the maker, Eric Luther, I followed him on Instagram, and he followed me back, and I commented on Steve Clare's post, and he hit me up. Eric Luther, what did I say? Did I say Eric Luther? It's Steve Clare, Eric Luther. Anyway, and then I hit him up tonight, and we were talking in PMs, and just seems like a really nice guy. And I want to go back and buy that one on Facebook because it's so ridiculously cheap. So yeah, he seems super nice, and like it just seems like a obnoxiously big. It's not as big as it's big, but it's not as big as I thought it would be, and it's comfortable. It's got that nice big choy I like, and yeah, whatever I can cut with it, I've been cutting with it. So
it looks sick, dude. It looks the blade to handle ratio looks like it has more blade than it does handle, but I'm sure it's because of the way that handles.
Yeah, it's got that pistol, whatever they call that kind of pistol grip, and it's fairly comfortable even back here. So yeah, I'm a fan. So he makes some pretty
Gravity, I show you
wicked
that.
stuff.
One of my later purchases, one of my most recent purchases that's so out of my norm.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the A100.
Yeah, I think you're the one that I think we talked about it. They weren't in Nashville. You know who's going to be in Nashville this year?
Who?
Greg.
Who?
Greg Medford.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if he'll be there.
Well, his booth will be, his products
booth
will be there, and he hadn't had a table before. The last 2 years, he hadn't had a table.
Last year, though, he said that after, was it SHOT Show that required masks last year or 2 years ago? And they had
he bailed out of that, and he said he wasn't going to be doing a lot of shows.
No, he said he wouldn't do SHOT Show again, but he said him and his team spent all these money on booths, and they would go to every knife show across the country.
Yeah, he's and on one of the videos I saw, he mentioned that he said that there's a whole section of knives in the back that they're just for Nashville. He goes, we got some stuff that we're bringing to Nashville that are going to knock your socks off.
I got something. I always said, like, because he was right. I mean, he's not in the game to prop up the secondary market, as he said. His knives, it's easier to buy them on the secondary. You get a great discount, except for certain knives. I just checked. I'm praying. I did a stupid purchase. I got all, after the loss of my brand new Fat Daddy and my Fighter Flipper, 2 awesome work knives. After the tragic loss, rest in peace, guys. I went out and did something stupid earlier this week, and it should show up tomorrow. So,
oh man, it's probably a beautiful thing. It just feels stupid now.
It's going to be epic. I hope. We'll find out.
That's too cool. That's too cool.
And then I got another stupid knife coming next week too.
If I win the giveaway at Nashville this year, I'll make sure that I get it. I'll follow up. I won the first year. I had no idea I'd won, and it showed up. The second year, they printed me as a winner of a Spartan Blades. I forget. It's a fixed blade. It's a cool one. It's like a $300 knife. And I just waited for it. And by the time I reached out to them, they're like, no, we didn't have your address or we couldn't read it. And I'm like, you sent it to me the year before. And they still haven't sent me Luke. I think that's
Kyle, was that yesterday you and I were talking about your Evo?
I got to let the cat in.
I think it was yesterday. Kyle hit me up and I'm like, oh, I kind of did some bad things this week. And then literally right after I talked to him, I spent a bunch more money. And then last night I spent some more money. It's been a tragic week, Kyle. Good. Thank you for not waiting, because what I told you I spent on these two, then I went and did it again. So
leave him in suspense. Well, I feed the cat. What'd you get?
Oh, well, I've got a.
That's why I'm surprised you got unboxings coming. Never mind.
Well, that doesn't. I'll tell you, because I'm so far behind on videos that when I get to post it, it'll be weeks from now. So, I got another Praetorian tie showing up tomorrow.
Ooh.
And I'm going to beat the piss out of it at work. It was expensive. And I've got a Praetorian tie that I got 2 years ago from the holiday show. And I love it, and I carry it, and I use it. And even though I always thought this would just be a badass work knife, I've never been able to bring myself to carry it at work. So I bought this one knowing I'm just going to beat it to death. I want to see what it's like at work. And then last night I got a Odin Customs Ripper.
Ooh.
So
let me pull that up. What's that called?
Odin,
Like if you were going to Google it, ODIN?
yeah. So,
Custom Ripper?
Mateo, sorry, yeah, I will send the money now. Sorry, bro. Everybody up, sign up for Mateo's Jerky of the Month Club.
Hey, let me tell you something. I've been just lemon peppering it out. I've been getting it every couple of weeks when I get paid.
Dude, that
It's
Parmesan
so
garlic,
good.
holy shit, that was good.
Oh yeah, I used to go 1 bag of garlic, 1 bag of lemon pepper, and then the last time I went, and it's gone. Like it'll come, and I'll eat it that day, and then I'll
Dude,
find the
he's
second
doing a
bag.
Jerky of the Month Club. He just sends you a bill, and I've been retarded.
Dude, I
And
love that stuff.
I will send the money.
So is
So
this
yeah,
the site? And then we'll look at some knives. Hold on one
I
sec.
don't know if he's got a site. I've been looking at him for a couple months now. Well, actually longer than that. Odom Custom Knives. I think that's his.
Ripper. Yeah, let's go to that.
Yeah.
Ripper photos.
Next Ripper Lotto.
Yep.
That little hawkbill looking thing.
Yeah. When I saw it, because I carried a Hawkbill at work as my only knife for, years ago for a while, and they're useful. I'm not going to carry this one at work, but
What would you cut with that primarily? I mean, I know it'll cut
I have no
anything.
idea. Whatever I want. Boxes, tape. Every day, like the kids are getting something, my wife is getting something. All I do when I come home is cut boxes. So I don't
Thing
know.
looks like it's got an interesting grind. It looks like
I'm
it's
a
got
sucker for those CNC lines in that.
yeah,
See,
on the blade.
That's what this, if you get like the non-Damascus one, this has the CNC lines in it too.
Let me get back to you.
If you get like, not this one doesn't, but if you get one of his regular blades, they've got the CNC lines also. I'm just a sucker for that.
Salmon Ninja, thank you, brother, for staying a member. I hope you win tonight. I hope all y'all win tonight. We'll do it. Remember that the pinned comment is a link to the member giveaway of this Tide Gen XL that's got the Mohawk if you like front flipping, which I don't. But it's got a great finger flick and a Mohawk for the get it without throwing it away.
And then that's it. No more knives.
We all say that. I'm hoping that
Steve.
I'm getting right now. I've got spaces in several knives in several cases. I've got extra spaces, which for a long time I didn't have that.
Dude, you should, my
I
nightstand.
can't believe Steve just
I
lied
don't
to
even
us.
have any knives in this room other than the ones I brought down. They're all upstairs in a drawer on my nightstand. All
What's
my
up,
shit is
Pluto?
just scattered. There's some in the movie room, in the recliner.
Rory. Yeah, I try to keep mine right around my table. And ever since I got this little Harbor Freight thing that Tippy's going to walk in front of, that's kept all my slip joints and the fixies that I have close to me all the time in check. Where are you going, Tip?
There's still knives. I'm totally like old school Striders. Like I passed on one the other day because I had just spent a bunch of money, but then I spent a bunch of money on some other dumb shit. So I'm gonna keep trying to track down those. That Stang Blade Works, that thing has evaded me for 3 freaking years.
Who's that?
Stang Blade Works out of Canada. He's just one dude, just all by himself, and he makes a fixed blade and a folder. I've got his fixed blade.
Say that last name again. Stain what?
Stang, Stang.
Oh,
Blade
Stang.
Works. Yeah.
Blade Works.
It's the fixed blade is the Boardwalk, and the folder is the Pyrenees.
Yeah, I see them both right here. Let's look at the Pyrenees. Ooh, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is intense. Let me share it.
He is just a single dude, and I respect, like, it's just, It's a side
How do
hustle.
you find people like this? I mean, from other
Dude,
knife enthusiasts?
I came across it. It was the same way. Like he's the same way I came across that Rubens titanium tools Roan I have. Just I saw a picture one day on Facebook in one of the groups, and I mean, I just fell in love. And
I thought there was a gallery where I could see the whole knife. There's a boardwalk.
uh,
So they don't have, you have to look at this little picture. I
he
can't
had his
blow it up.
Instagram page.
All right, let me
And
get it out.
same thing, man. He's got the CNC lines in the blade, and some
I
he
love
does, some
that.
he doesn't. I've talked with him. He comments on videos. So, and that's what I like about him. Like 3 years ago, I was like, dude, I never asked him, but I just in a video, I was like, knives I want to go after next year. And he's like, hey man, I appreciate it. And I've entered every single lotto he has, and it's sketchy. Like some guys get more than one, but and they pop up on the secondary, and that's one knife for some reason.
How do you spell it again? STA what?
NG.
STANG.
Yep.
There we go. My bad. That's the knife right there, right?
Yeah. 5-door. I'm going to. But this knife pisses me off because I've been trying so hard for so many years, and I could pick one up on the secondary for more, but that seems like cheating. Like this is one of those knives like I feel like I have to earn
Dude,
it
that's
and actually
beautiful.
get it in a drop.
If you get it so if he does drops, he doesn't do lotto for you to have one made.
He'll do, it's like a lotto, like you enter, and he hasn't done anything in a while.
Yeah, that's what he's got on his page right now. There's a lot of, let me go back to it.
Is there one right now?
Yep, Stang.
Shut up.
I think so. Look.
Any of you fuckers enter and win.
So if you go V3 79 77 to 79, enter here. So it looks like 77, 78, 79. They're three. They're going to be.
He does them on Sundays, or he usually did. He was doing them, but
This
he
is
hadn't
no
done any.
longer accepting responses. So this form's dead.
Oh, it's an old one, yeah.
Well, I don't know. You know, it might be that if you say he does them on Sundays, that
He hasn't done them in a while though. But yeah, that's one of those ones you got to earn. I think I'm gonna have to earn it. My buddy just won a Rosie tonight. I didn't know they were doing a lotto tonight. So
it seemed like everybody that went to that maker syndicate was able to get one.
oh, dude, he
saw
produced
the
a
video
shit
with
ton of knives.
yeah, and they
And
had the XL there too.
oh, that XL looks badass. That looks right
I
up
like
my
the regular
alley.
size, but the XL was, I mean, to me, they're just so refined that I don't see the value in them. It's weird. I mean, when I held one, it did not feel like an $800 knife. And I know that's stupid, but that's just subjective.
I got one. I had number 281, and I won it in a lotto. It was a one-off knife, and I paid. I mean, at the time, it was on the high end, and it was $670 because it was different than his others. And now, I don't even think you can get one of his knives for under 700. Can you retail?
I think Bird and Frankie were saying it started at 780.
780 now. I
Table
mean,
price. I think so.
yeah, back in the day, they were like $500. I mean,
and they were limited to, you know, I think they're doing everything they can to keep prices down.
yeah, I'm hoping. We were talking like he put out so many at that maker syndicate that we were kind of like maybe the prices were going to start coming down in the secondary.
Well, wouldn't it take a month or two for that to even work through to where you'd see it?
I don't know, man. All of a sudden, like Grimsmo, the Rasks were trading above, above market for years and years and years. And all of a sudden, within like the last 4 months, they're gone. I mean, you can pick up a Rask for like new in box for $700-800, and retail it's like an $1,100 knife now. So, but there's guys just
Let's take a look at NASCL and see I haven't been there in a couple of days. Let's see what people are selling over there.
I gotta quit doing this shit. This is how I end up with stuff like this. Like
Tippy. Oh, there's a Christensen Maverick S for $250. Ooh, I don't need to see that. Tippy. Find a place to sleep. Can y'all hear that meowing, or is my filter getting it?
not hearing it.
Good. Can y'all see these knives that I'm sliding by?
They're a little bitty, but yeah.
That Miguron Carix. That's a nice knife for $129. Weird little nuck.
Did Benchmade do something else dumb, or am I late to the game? I just saw, was it Alex Stein Grabber or something, said if a bug out with titanium scales is like $600 now or something like that.
Oh yeah. Well, I think a lot of it has to do with what materials are costing. So this is the old bug out aircraft aluminum.
Mm-hmm.
And if we go to Blade HQ, are y'all going with me? Or when I open the new window, did y'all come with me?
I see knife sale. NAF sale.
Oh, you're still seeing NASCL?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to start sharing again because I went to Blade HQ to show you how much they've gone up.
I know Benchmade's gone up to ridiculous.
But Medford's prices are too. I mean, you're paying
It's
American
materials.
workers.
I mean, that aluminum,
workers.
that's the one we just saw at NASCL, and it's $270. And at NASCL, it's $240. So you're saving $30.
What was he talking about? $600 knife for? Or is
well,
that
let
the
me show
narrows?
you. Yeah, no, the narrows is $600, but then they've even got. Hold on, they've got a bunch more that are well up there.
I was gonna say sort by price, John.
Yeah, but it's not bug outs. Hold on, let me go back and do.
Like, I'm not a Benchmade fan, but
it's
you're paying American. I mean, shit goes up.
It's the little community.
A lot of the stuff that they've gone up on prices. I mean, of course, they got the titanium one that's ridiculously priced, but they're going up on their plastic knives too, injection molded knives.
So here's the bailout with titanium for $600 pre-order.
Boy, what would you compare that to? Like, what other knife? I mean, $600. What's the blade?
It's two slides of M4.
I mean,
I can't compare that to anything. I mean, you can buy those scales from
titanium for.
Fuck, you can buy for $85.
You can buy those scales from. You can buy those scales from Mettenboss for like $180.
$150 for like nice, not smooth. I mean, these are just smooth scales.
Yeah, I mean, Mettenboss is a hell of a lot better than Benchmade scales. At least it's made by some dude in the garage.
These are aluminum, right? These infidels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they're $585. All of them are.
They've been that price since they dropped, though. Those things have been $500 since they dropped 20 years ago.
And the narrows has gone down a little bit.
But
yeah, I mean, I guess if people don't buy it, if people don't pay for them, they'll eventually go down, and then they'll be either discontinued or rethought. If it costs that much to make them, they need to get their systems better because they can.
I was going to say, yeah, there's too many other knife companies out there making better for less money. I mean, you take a Sabenza. A Sabenza's way better.
And cheaper. Is cheaper than that bailout.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is Sabenza's what, $430?
Zach, welcome, buddy.
For full size
450?
now, I think they raised their price to their $5 or $5.25.
Oh, I hadn't looked at one in a while, but
They raised the price. I think it's
it's still, that's a small shop. You know, that's a
cheaper
small
than
shop. Precision made. I mean, almost impeccable reputation. You know, I mean, obviously Sabenza has had a hiccup here or there along the way. Everybody has, but I mean, when you
Hey
compare,
guys, let's think of a channel that we can help over the hump. Do we know anybody who's got coming close to 1,000? Somebody that we can go for this giveaway? I can either do it in the chat or we can go give love to somebody's channel.
what's M, like I've never had that Ripper is an M4. I've never had M4 steel before. What's it comparable to, or what's it like, or
it's a high speed tool steel. It's going to be really hard. 63, 64 Rockwell. It's going to be tough. I mean, it's a great steel. It's when you know what the chopping sports are,
where they're
and you know, yeah, with the big ass fucking knives.
yeah.
That's M2 and M4 is what and M4 is still what they use a lot of times for that. So that gives you an idea how tough it is. You know, it's a real tough steel, but it gets real hard, so it'll hold an edge. So if you've got something thin, you know, machine thin, ground thin, it'll still hold as a pocket knife as long as you're not, you know, doing something really dumb like I have a history of doing. I mean, you'll enjoy it. As long as you got diamonds to sharpen it or send it to Kyle, then you'll be fine.
Oh, here's the thing. So, do you guys know Scott Gunn? Have you heard of Scott Gunn?
Yeah, Gunny Glide.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gunny Juice
So
and Gunny Glide.
he lives fairly close. He's in Omaha, so it's like an hour and 30, 40 minutes to me. But he is
Hold on one sec. Guys, that link I threw in there is to Gonzo's page. It's a video. Go subscribe to his page, like it, and then watch that video and leave a comment with the word Javon in there. And that's what we'll do our little amps. What did I say? What kind of light it was? It's our Kaiser that I forget the name of. And it is that little Amsler through light or through night, whatever it's called. Go ahead, buddy. But that's where we're going. So we're going over to Brother G Balls.
Scott Gunn's holding at the end of October. He's doing a class. 8 hours for $95, and my buddy wants to go, and I'm like, and it's a sharpening class. And it's like, bring your own sharpening system if you have one. If not, but I mean, fuck, I'll go to I mean, I want to get better at sharpening.
I didn't know Scott did that. I knew he did. He just came out with Gunny Clean. I use his emulsions, and I didn't realize, was I watching Said Stevie? I think I was, and we were asking if anybody sold emulsions on the God, I'm going blank. The round table. What's it called?
The EDC round table.
Yeah, EDC round table. And he was like, no, but if you go to Google or to YouTube and search how do you make a diamond emulsion, evidently it's very, very easy to make them in different grits. You just buy the basic diamond stuff, and then you buy the solution to suspend them in. I'm going to quit sharing, guys, but that's where you guys need to go, and I'm going to go back and check and make sure y'all are going to the right place.
Hey, Mateo, sorry, real quick. Mateo, I just went to PayPal, and that payment request is gone. What was it, $60? How much do I owe? How much is it for the monthly jerky?
Hey, Steve, I know it may be some digging, but Jared has a lot of really good videos on how to sharpen. I know he's got like 5 million videos, so it may be hard to find, but
I know he did things like, because he did like a pay one or free one, and I think
his old video, some of his old videos I mean, he actually had instructional videos where he's sitting here showing you hold it this way, hold it that way,
Yeah.
do
Shows you
this,
how to
do
do a
that.
mark
You
on
know,
your
It would
feet.
be nice to be in person though, where someone can show you, because he did one of these asymmetrical edges for a guy in the Strider group. But I can also just send it into Strider and have Mick, Josh Lee said Mick will do it himself. So
And this is the Cobra Tooth Knives videos, guys. Gonzo's at 914 subscribers. Please help that go up, and let's get him some more comments.
is he in here? Who's Gonzo?
Oh, he's a buddy of the community. I don't know if he's in here right now. Let's see if I can do this by sort by newest first. All right, we're getting a few people coming in here. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So that'll be our general visitor giveaway. We'll be pulling comments off of Gonzo's video. But y'all carry on. That's all I wanted to get started. I'm gonna run to the little boys' room.
oh,
Kyle, why don't you do like a sharpening channel?
It works.
he can't keep his pants on.
Well, I mean, if you're only showing the tabletop, you should be good. Unless it's like a glass table.
I was going to say, knowing Kyle, it'd be a glass table. Everybody be like, "Why you got a sea cucumber laying in your leg, in between your legs?"
Anybody else get anything cool lately? I had been pretty good, and then like literally
It comes in
Saturday,
first.
I went off the rails in like literally 4 days.
See, I'm the type that I can look and I'm good once, and it can be cheap. I could go buy a freaking set of nail clippers, and the next thing you know, I've started buying every freaking thing.
Yeah,
It's like a crack bean.
Really. So a month ago on Javon's live stream, I bought this thing, and really, then, and this dumb thing. If anybody wants this, hit me up. And then I did a couple trades. And then literally last Saturday, it was this. And then this popped up.
But that's the thing, is right now you're just on a little bender. It's, you bought the one, and you may go a month or two and not buy nothing, and then all of a sudden you do it again. I'm that way, and it doesn't have to be just knives. It can be anything.
It was because I was, because we moved into a new house, and I'd been on the wife because I'm like, geez, pump the brakes. My God, you're killing me. Like, she promised each girl got so much money to furnish their new room. And then I bought a pool table for the basement. And then we'd sold literally almost all of our other furniture from our old house. And our living room upstairs had nothing. And she was like, I am sick of this shit. Like, I want somewhere to sit. So it was like, oh, okay, kitchen table, a couple chairs and a rug, and now I'm like, oh, and my girls so I got the triplets. They're turning 16 at the end of October. So I bought 2 of 3 cars. I'm just like, we need to slow down. Like,
you need to add a couple of days to the work week. So you're working like 10 days a week.
And my season's ending, like, come another month and a half, I'm not going to be bringing in any money until, spring. So it's like, slow down.
Pretty fly. I did see that. I was going to ask, did you guys see it? And what were y'all's thoughts on it?
What did we see?
The new Stasa. Let me pull it up.
Was that the nip?
Nope.
I was going to say, I hadn't seen the Devo Stasa collab.
Check this out.
Yes, triplet girls, Gator. You want to talk expensive? Have triplet girls.
I'm just going to say one thing. Thrift stores.
Thrift stores, dude. They love Plato's clock. Like, oh, so okay. So and see, my wife is the cheap one. I'm like the one that like it was like, hey, let's just go light money on fire for fun. That's kind of like how I used to be. But school clothes shopping for years, it was like she would take them out every season. They would get new clothes, and it would be a lot of money. And I'm like, what the? I mean, I would get school clothes to start the year. And literally and then those jeans in the summer when I was little, those jeans just got cut off. But like, we made them all get jobs. So
I mean, like tomorrow, I usually do most, because, I still have a regular job. So I do all of, I go to the place where I buy the clothes by the pound on Saturday and Sunday. My youngest is actually going with me tomorrow. And because he thinks it's cool as shit that I was able to get him a Nike technical hoodie for like $2. For like $2. It's a $200 hoodie. I got it for him for $2.
Y'all tell me when you're ready to see it.
And go ahead. We can talk and look.
I see it.
But
it's weird. I haven't seen any of Stas's videos in a while. It's like, because YouTube, I just kind of click through and it's whatever they suggest is watching.
It's called, how they all have an
So I bring to you the Fireball.
I love the name. And he called it the Fireball because of his accident.
Yeah.
But see the backspacer? That allows it to be left hand or right hand carry.
Did he design it?
He designed it. And then he partnered with Colin and Lefty to pull off the drawing and to help him get it produced. He talks about why but check out the backspacer.
Oh, it's a liner lock.
Back carbon here. You got this sweet decorative pivot. Colin, I think, came up with that right there. And I think, I'm not sure if I mess up on these guys. I'm sorry. My memory's not great. But what we did on this one is kind of like the Wii thing. We did a wraparound titanium backspacer. So that's an integral backspacer. And we have a milled titanium pocket clip. And I know my lefties are already screaming, but you think I would do a collaboration with Lefty EDC and not make it lefty friendly? So the backspacer, you can get a different backspacer that is going to have it tapped for lefties. And underneath here is already tapped for lefties. So we thought about that. Let's check out.
I mean, it sounds great.
So there's my design.
It looks nice.
It went to Lefty.
You can flip the
paper
backspacer.
And
yeah, well, what you can do is you can order another backspacer. So you can order.
Okay.
I don't know if it's going to come in the box or how much it'll be. It'll probably be really cheap, but you can get another backspacer that, if you could see what that screw was. Yeah.
I don't think an integral titanium backspacer is going to be exactly cheap, but
well, it might not be. Let's see if he says. Let's see if he says how much it's going to be.
He used to do.
Prototypes in D2. I don't know what steel we're going with yet. I know it's not D2 for sure, but the gap's tighter on this side. Now this is, I think, their first time doing a wraparound backspacer, because originally we wanted it contoured, but they couldn't pull it off with this. But the reason why I usually love a contoured handle is because whenever you're squeezing down on a flat scaled knife, your hand goes into this groove right there, and it's not that comfortable. It makes it not that comfortable. With this wraparound, it makes it feel like it's completely contoured. But they got a nice chamfer going all the way around, flat scaled, inset line.
You didn't say, but that's a good question. I mean, when I've gotten the hardware kits, like I bought, where's my growler? I bought the titanium hardware kit for this growler, which was just a pivot, the hardware screws, and the backspacer, and it was $35. So I'm guessing.
Yeah, but that's not an integral backspacer though.
True. But it looks like the backspacer, if you go back and look at it.
truthfully though, if it's going to be, I mean, marble, carbon fiber, titanium, and just say it's, you know, M390 or 20C, that, you know, some type of, you know, higher end steel. I mean, it's not a cheap knife to start with. So, I mean, the price point, even if it's $100 for the backspacer, that would still be within reasonable range of what that knife is.
Yeah, I don't think you can sell it for 100. I mean, that'd be a stretch for me if I was a lefty.
Well,
but maybe I'm guessing it's going to be between 30 and $50 because it's only that one little piece, which I know is a lot.
I got a
so
question.
it's just that piece. It's not. See, I guess I'm not understanding, because I thought you were replacing the whole back strap.
Well, yeah, I mean, if to get the other
Is
side,
it just like a cap that comes off?
let's
How do you
see.
get it off though?
Away.
Got
Now, these
that
are prototypes in D2.
Oh,
I
it's
don't know
really
what
simple.
steel we're going with yet. I know it's not D2 for sure.
right by the clip,
But
TA.
very, very nice. My
slides off.
medium-sized hands, I can get a nice 4-finger grip on it. I think it's like 7 and some change total length.
But it's hollowed out.
I can't wait to see what y'all think down below.
And when you squeeze it around, you'll see where the TA is.
I drew this one out last year, I think. Now
Needs a choil.
we were kind of going for a forward finger choil right here, and you can do that. But I don't know. Yeah, you can still do it. It's comfortable.
See, this is his first
hollow grind on it, nice and thin. The action is just breaking in. Perfectly centered. Can I thumb flick it? Yep, I can thumb flick it. It's got a perfectly dialed detent. If you like reverse flickers, this one is excellent. Like I said, we've noticed, you know, our lefty noticed already because he got these first. I think we're going to ask him, we want this to be tighter, like on this side, the gaps tighter on this side. Now, this is, I think, their first time doing a wraparound backspacer because originally we wanted it contoured, but they couldn't pull it off with this. But the reason why I usually love a contoured handle is because whenever you're squeezing down on a flat scaled knife,
I think
make sure we don't have any side to side wobble, wiggle, ball, beautiful action. These detents are just perfect. I can slow roll it still.
Here's all right.
Excellent reverse flicker.
I think this is something. Sorry, good. Keep going. Well, I'll bring it. Keep watching his video because good for him. Like that's awesome for him. Like this is a flat. I think we all kind of fall into it. These knife review. Everybody talks about hot spots and this. Have you ever name a knife that you've grabbed onto and you're like, it hurts my hand? I think it's just something. It's like we're conditioned to point out.
Well, no, with Stasa, he's had 3rd-degree burns over his hands.
Has he? So he notices it more than everybody else because his
hands are super sensitive compared to mine or yours.
But everybody else is like, I think we're all conditioned to be like, oh, it's a hot. I've never had a knife where I'm like squeezing down, where I'm like, but I'll mention it.
Yeah. Like I said, I haven't either, and like I said, until I found out, because he used to always talk about. I mean, he still does. But when I was watching him years ago, I thought the same thing. I'm like, what the hell is all these people got delicate hands? But then I found out that he had and you could see it in some of his videos if you look close at his hands. Yeah. He's had 3rd-degree burns on his hands, and so
and some I feel a lot.
Now I feel like a dick. Thanks a lot. But no, I think
I get it. That's my point. Is I get it.
I do it.
There is a lot of people with some delicate ginger hands that sit and piss and moan about. They do that with like Hinderer. Talk about how it's gyptastic and what do you need all this shit for? And it's like, well, if you were actually using the knife for what it was designed for and wearing a pair of gloves, like he designed the knife to be used by firefighters who wear fucking gloves when they do their job, then it wouldn't hurt your delicate ginger hands.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is my hands are all calloused up because I use them all day. And so the fact that a Hinderer or a Strider gunner grip, doesn't bother me.
You use them all day, snaking or shaking that one-eyed snake's hand.
Hey, got to get my calluses from somewhere. But I'm just saying that, people complain about hot, and Steve, you can verify this. You grab a hold of a Strider gunner grip, and that's a little bit.
It can be, but I've never been like, ow. And I use my, like, I don't want to.
I hadn't either, but I'm just saying that, that knife.
Say that, and I mentioned it only because I just filmed this the other day, and I was like, well, I can't feel the clip here, but if I hold it here and squeeze, I can find it. But I can't. I mean,
I'll play devil's advocate
there, but it's not hurting me.
I upgraded my Mannix 2 to get rid of those jimps that are on the liner because I felt them as a hot spot. Now, if I use this knife like it was intended, it would not have been a hot spot because I'd be wearing gloves and use it to work. But for just a urban cutting tool.
The other thing is why are you squeezing so goddamn hard when you're cutting a box open?
Because I feel manly.
I know. Hey, Mateo, I just sent my
saver grip.
Mateo, I just sent my money over for my Jerky of the Month club. Surprise me! There's nothing too hot.
When I'm cutting boxes open, it's not like I'm choking my chicken.
No,
I'm not.
You should have seen me last night in the garage.
If you watched his,
you should have seen me in the garage. I was I was slashing boxes, and then I almost dropped. I pulled it out of my pocket, I pulled it up and it kind of got away from me, and I was like, oh. But yeah,
that's one you would hate to see open, going at an angle and landing in it at a 45-degree angle on the concrete.
Because I did it today at work also almost. It pulled, and it didn't even pull it out. I had it out, and I was walking over to my telehandler, and I was I was just kind of messing around with it, and I was it almost got away from me. I'm like, slow down. Let's not break it the first couple days.
The new comment, that's the Gonzo comment I just pinned to replace the members giveaway. I'll pin it back in a sec. But that way, if you guys haven't gone up there and left a comment and subscribe to them, let's see how many subscribers we're up to.
What Aaron's talking about is
US Growler.
The posted comment about the Hogue Deca felt like crap. Sometimes the ergonomics just aren't right, don't fit your hand, or the shape of the handle. Like if for me, I don't do good with 3-inch handle knives. And they're not comfortable. And sometimes when I'm holding them, a smaller knife, if I'm using it for something, if I'm using a knife like this right here, and I'm choked back on it, then it'll be uncomfortable. This part here will be uncomfortable. But if I choke up, and that's, you just got to match the knife to your hand. And sometimes knives are uncomfortable, and that's why I don't carry them. It's just, for me, uncomfortable is different than it's got hot spots because it's got too many jimps, or something of that nature. It's just, I get a knife that fits my hand.
It has sharp spots on the underside of it, even though it's a big knife. But yeah, y'all, go.
A lot of it's just talking shit, because you can give me just about any knife and I can cut whatever I need to cut with it. And, but I'm not going to sit and cut up an entire refrigerator box into, 1/4-inch wide strips for shits and gigs.
I'm cutting tape. Like, I don't want to, because I suck at sharpening and I don't have to send it out. Like, I'm not going to purposely dull a knife. Just sitting. At work, it'll be whatever. But back to the hinder thing, like I've got to eventually the Bowie one will get posted, but like I know he does it for a purpose, but like my XM18 flipper tab is so much more pointier than my XM24. Like just take a little bit off. And I wear gloves every day and I still get it in gloves.
Are they both Bowies?
No, my XM24, I had two Bowie 24s, but then I got the Spanto one, which is it's a worker. And people, maybe something good came out of that whole hinder debacle. It's an S45 and thing is still sharp as shit. I've been carrying it at work now for over a month. Cardboard, heavy plastic banding, and it's still just like just a slicing machine. So
S45, he did right, I think, from the get-go. From all the, I don't have one in S45, but all the reviews I saw when he first started putting some out in S45, people seem to really like the way he, repeated his teeth treatment for him.
Of S45, I'm a huge so I've had it in Chris Reeve, Hinderer, Medford, rest in peace, Fat Daddy. So the Medford I got that's coming tomorrow is an S45 because I really liked that for the 2 weeks I got to use it before it is in the trash.
I can't say I like it better than anything else because I don't cut enough shit. And when I do cut stuff, I would use a torch or a plasma cutter.
From what I found, like S45 on.
I'm not using it, buddy. Just reach out
compared to like Magna Cut. People always ask me about because a couple of years ago it was like, oh, unboxing Chris Reeve Sabenza in Magna Cut, and I still get comments like, how's it holding up? I'm like, it was okay, but honestly, I prefer S45 at work. I couldn't really tell I didn't think it held up any longer than S45.
I mean, like I said, I don't cut enough to know the difference, and I think most people fall under the category that I do, or maybe some close to where you are, but I don't think there's a lot of folks sitting around just cutting shit up. I mean, some people do. John does. I mean, he just sits and cuts fucking paper all day long and creates little piles of, shit for his cat to play in.
Like every once in a while, like no new knife I've got. Like I just did this like earlier. Like I just wanted to, it's like I knew it was sharp. Yeah, okay. But like
I forget the angle. Jared Neves told me what to sharpen my Hinderer Spanto at, and it is. I don't know if y'all can see that. It is slicey.
Yeah. I was just really surprised. Like, I mean, it's thick plastic banding that a lot of these parts are bundled in, and I can just get it in there and it just like butter. And I've done that before with other knives or different steels, and you'll roll an edge or do something. And I was shocked. It was this last project we were on. I did cut a lot of that banding. And the knife is still sharp. I was still just going through cardboard, and I'm like, all right, this is impressive.
If any of you guys have Joe Isabella, thank you, brother. Been a fucking member for 6 months. I love you, man. Kicking the door in. That's what old Marine X says. But if you guys have triways, Hinderers, there are bearings on skiff that are made for the XM18s or the Fire Tax or let's just go there real quick. Hold on 1 second. And it's the compatibility charts where I found them, and they perform terribly, but I've got a lot of bearing upgrade videos that I've tried to make because I've also got a code with them. Javon 10 will save you 10% if you want bearings. But the ones that have made the biggest change or in terms of action, have been my Medford Slim Midi.
My Slim Midi's on skiffs.
Yeah, my Slim Midi on skiff's great. But then these Hinders, if you can see, I mean, they've got all kinds of, like your Hinder tri-ways, a quarter, 1/16, 13. And then if you take them out, you'll see that they've got like 9 balls. And Hinder and Medford, I guess because the way they're locally sourced, are not using ceramic balls. Kyle Coonley has got a question for the chat. Let me find it. And he's been a member for 4 months. Would you consider paying for a consultation where I do a video one-on-one to teach you how to use your system? I.e., if you've got a TS prop and you want to learn how to maximize it, would you hire out Kyle Coonley for an hour to walk you through how to make it happen?
And Kyle, I've heard other, like, you know, because like N390 was like the hotness for how long, right? And now it seems to like it's still like MagnaCut came in and
no beefer, we hadn't done it yet.
MagnaCut's still kind of like that hotness that everybody wants, and like I've had mixed reviews with it. I wasn't super impressed. I couldn't really tell the difference, and I've heard it's harder than balls to sharpen. And like Greg said, he doesn't like it because it's hard on. It's so hard. It's hard on tools, you know. For a shop, they're, you know, breaking more tools and it's costing them more. But I don't know, I just want to know Kyle's thoughts on that. Because really, S45 is fairly close to MagnaCut, isn't it?
The link's also pinned up there, Beaver Baron, but that's for the just the general giveaway. It's this one right here. We're gonna go. You got to go subscribe to Gonzo if you're not already subscribed. Like that video, and then leave a comment with Javon in there. And I'm gonna pull for that one in just a few minutes. So that is the pinned one, and then we'll get back and focus on our member giveaway. Josh Branson, thank you, brother.
Well, I'm fixing to go to bed, you guys.
Are you?
I can't be saying. Yeah, I can't be.
Hey,
I told you my youngest wants to go out tomorrow with me, and he's already in bed.
Dude, y'all go knock him dead tomorrow. Have a great time, and I appreciate you stopping in, dude.
Where you going? Yeah. So I need you to get me some shoes.
You don't want any shoes from there.
Oh, I mean, you can't find, do you do anything with old school Jordans?
What do you mean, do anything with old school Jordans?
Do you ever come in? I think now they're kind of at the point where everybody knows to look for them, but.
Yeah, it's the only I found at a yard sale. I found a pair of brand new Irish setters, the mock toe, look like the old, Red Wing mock toe, but they were Irish setter. I found a pair of women's Vapor Max tennis shoes, and that's all I've ever found is those two pair. Most of the time when I find shoes, they're run through, or there's just some crazy ridiculous shit. Shoes are
that you can find clothes, but you can't find like the shoe. Is it because more people know about the shoes?
No, it's
general public more.
Well, if you're talking about Jordans, then yeah, they're going to sell them. Everybody knows about StockX or Grailed or something like that when it comes to shoes. So a lot of folks, and you don't have to be like to sell a pair of Levi's or to sell a pair of Carhartts. You got to sell on a regular basis to sell that. Otherwise, you'll never fall into the algorithm. Because it's all based on computer algorithm. But if you put up a pair of Jordans, then if you got I wear a size 11.5. So everybody wears, that's like the most common or one of the most common men's sizes. And so if I put up a pair of Jordans in 11.5 and they're in decent shape, then they're going to move. They're going to sell without any problem. It doesn't matter whether I sell on a regular basis or not. I've talked to some folks, like folks that I work with, they'll put up like kind of rare shit, like rare hunting equipment brands, you know, like say Ibex or Stio or something like that, you know, that's kind of a rare brand. They'll put that up and they won't have a problem selling it. But if they were to try, like I said, if they were to try to sell something normal, then, you know, it would never move. It's the same thing if you put up, you know, a Strider for sale on eBay, you're not going to have a problem. But if you go try to put up a Case Stockman, you're going to get buried behind everybody else. And it's the same thing with anything. And so, like I said, I've never seen adult wise pair of Jordans, you know, where I go to buy
like old school, they could be 40 years. Yeah, I had a pair of dead stock Jordan 5s that I finally sold because they were old. I mean, Jordan's done reissue. I mean, they do them all the time. Drops on.
Johnson's jump in that giveaway. We're about to
old, but just Jordans in general.
Just leave a comment and subscribe.
If you had a pair of OG Jordans from like OG Jordan 5s from, what would that be, right around 89, 90? 89, 90, something like that, then they would be worth a pretty good chunk of change.
It sold. I mean, I had some dead stocks that were, I mean, because I was lucky enough to get them back in the day when they weren't as, you know, the boom, and I made some good money on them.
All right, guys, I'm about to start sharing the giveaway screen, so y'all need to go up and comment. Whoops.
I mean, 89, 90 era Jordan 5s, you probably could have auctioned them off and got somewhere in probably close to 5 figures.
I got fucked then.
Yeah, because original Jordans, especially dead stock, and when I say original, I'm talking about the first production.
Yeah.
The first production of, just say, through the Jordan 11s, those are all worth a small fortune by themselves. Even ones that look like shit. And I even went to my mom's looking for them because I found out that even the ones that are just fucking wrecked,
y'all got about 60 seconds to go comment and like and subscribe to that video that's pinned in the top of the comment section. I'm getting ready to pull for that one. That is for the Kaiser that was donated to the channel, and for this little Archer through night.
Oh, because I had all the Jordans through the Jordan 11s. I had all the original Jordans through the Jordan 11s, and because I've been a sneakerhead my whole life. But
You sneakerhead.
I've really become a fan of the Jordan 3s.
I mean, a lot of people, the 3 or 4 is their favorite. My favorite is the 5.
The 5 was my favorite, but now as an older man, all right, we got a couple more. So I do like the 3s and the 4s because they're the mid top. You know, they're not so high.
Yeah. Now that I'm an old man, I like the Air Max better.
Yeah,
they come more comfortable.
Yeah, but if you want comfort, if you're buying shoes for comfort, get Adidas Ultra Boost.
Dude, I've got like 5 pairs of Ultra Boost. I've got a couple pairs of Yeezys. I mean, I know people. He's an idiot.
I'm getting ready to pull.
He can't be an idiot. But the Ultra Boost is awesome. Man, it's hard to pass up the Yeezy if you're going to be in your shoe all day.
So here we go, guys.
I've never had or wore a Yeezy.
They are more comfortable than the Ultra Boost.
But, I mean, they cost twice as much, so they should be.
Brett Ingram, Javon sent me. Congrats, brother. You won. Congrats.
Congrats, sir.
But Ultra Boost, it's weird. All my I've got a couple air.
See, when we go on vacation, I always take Ultra Boost.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
Because, like, if we're going to the zoo, if we're
Congratulations,
going
buddy. I'm
to
gonna put my email
the
address here.
aquarium,
Just email me
uh,
your address, and I will
we're
send
going
this out to you tomorrow with a bunch of stickers.
we're going to hit the outlets, you know, that kind of stuff that you find at the beach. Then I'm going to have the Ultra Boost, and I feel fine at the end of the day. We can go shopping at that stupid fucking mall down there all day long, and I'm fine.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, A to Z EDC came across a yard sale score today. He found a trombone that he paid a couple $100 for, and it's worth like 10 times that.
But he has a way to sell it. I don't.
Yeah, and that's right, and he knows the market of those trombones. Congratulations, Brent. All right, I'm gonna go back. I'll carry on. I'm gonna go back and put the member giveaway tag up here.
Since nobody's local that's listening to this, because I would assume A to Z not listening, which he may be lingering in the background. I don't know and fixing to listen to what I'm going to say. But two of the wealthier neighborhoods, actually one of the where the cheapest house is about $1 million, is having a community yard sale tomorrow.
Really?
And then another neighborhood where one side of it is about 500,000 up, and the other side of the neighborhood is like $1 million up. They're having a community yard sale tomorrow too. One starts at 7, the other one starts at 8, and so that's where me and my son are headed. Because I hit one. You'll know you may not know the neighborhood, but you'll know well, actually you may. You know where Last Resort is on County Line?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
right.
You go down from Last Resort on County Line. There's a neighborhood there with a lake in front of it. It's called Watterson, and all them houses are like $2 and $3 million. I went in a yard sale in there and was buying brand new Patagonia, brand new Polo, brand new Vans, brand new Nike shoes, brand new all kind of shit in there for $1 a piece.
Dude, I'd get there before the sun comes up while they're putting it out.
I'll be there at 7.
Would you ever open up a reselling store, or are you just happy just pushing on eBay?
We've talked about it. The only thing with it is right now the fashion we've talked about opening up a consignment store, and we've talked about opening up just kind of like a reselling store. It wouldn't be like a thrift store. It wouldn't be.
I'll ship you out tomorrow.
Like a vintage store. It would just be a reselling store where we go and source the stuff. Or we source the stuff online, because you can buy stuff in bulk online from various companies like Nordstrom and Saks and all that kind of stuff, Neiman Marcus and stuff. We've talked about doing that, but that would be probably still a few years out, because, and of course, where I'm at is not, anywhere fancy, but the cost of running a business retail space here is so high. The volume that you have to move is just insane. Because I mean, we bought our house not quite 2 years ago, and it's gone up $100,000 in value in less than 2 years, a year and a half. The real estate here is just lost its fucking mind.
Yeah, and I would think doing it online gets you not only a bigger audience, but you're also going to get.
Well, if I did it, it would be a mixture. It would be, because I do have a friend that does both. And if he did it just by his retail space, he wouldn't survive. Yeah, you have to do them both, because, he's paying somewhere in the neighborhood of $10,000 a month, which I know to some people doesn't sound like a lot of money, but that's just his rent and utilities.
Right now we got 49 comments. So if any of you channel members haven't yet left a comment, go up to that pinned video at the top of the comment section, leave a comment, because I want y'all to all have a chance to win this damn designed S35VN titanium XL Gen. Go ahead, Dr. Gravity. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
And I mean, that's just his rent and utilities is 10 grand a month. You got to move a lot of clothing, a lot of stuff. When you start because people don't realize that even though you buy it by the pound, I'm not making $10,000 a month. I'm not making anywhere near that yet. And, you still got to pay for your house. You still got to pay for our rent or utilities. You got all your home bills on top of the store. And which all this, and I mean, because you have your own business, you've got your business expenses, and then you've got your home expenses. And the thing with when you, because regardless, when you're selling clothes, you're still competing with the mall. You're still competing with other retail outlets, and so unless you have a very special niche where you're able to consistently, because when it comes to a retail space, like when you go to the store, what are you doing? You're going to buy something. And so a lot of people are going to buy and they shop online, and because malls are almost non-existent now. And so a lot of people don't go and just linger around shopping like they did when all three of us were young. That was a thing of the 80s and 90s, going to the mall and spending 6 hours at the mall, hanging out with your friends, shooting the shit, walking around, looking at stuff, shopping. People don't do that anymore.
Those were the greatest days.
All right, guys, I'm getting ready to make that that member video private so we can do a giveaway. If you haven't left a comment, you've got about 60 seconds. Sorry,
that's why it's so different. Oh, no, it's fine. But that's why it's so difficult to have a retail space right now. And you just about have to be able to do a mixture of online.
Trendy area like that does.
Right. Yeah. If I was, if the community where I live was bigger, which it's not tiny by any stretch of the imagination, but it's also not big enough to support, I wouldn't garner enough traffic, I don't think, versus the cost of having a brick and mortar. It's that balance. I think it would still be somewhat lacking. And that's mostly, like I said, because I have a friend that does something similar to what I would want to do. And his traffic is not high enough to support his store. And his store is not much bigger than my back porch. It's a very small store. It's maybe 20 feet by 40 feet. As far as the store itself, and then it's got a very small back area. And when I say very small, I'm talking about, not much bigger than a standard cubicle back area. He doesn't have a storage area in the back. He's got like a little small office with a desk and a safe. And that's the purpose of that little small room in the back. But it just, I mean, I'd love to have a retail space though. Somewhere to just go sit and hang out all day. And
that's what who cares? We don't need to sign anything. I just want to hang out. Pretty fly. I think that was your quote. That was a great Bloodhound Gang quote.
Now, when I was young, because back when I was young, a kid and a teenager, I was really into baseball cards and comic books and all that kind of stuff. And I used to run a guy that I went to church with growing up. He had a card and comic shop here. And, I mean, it was mostly hanging out, and it's because people would come in there and buy that stuff in bulk. And if I was able to do something of that nature where people will come in there and buy cases of stuff and you're able to move hundreds of dollars at a time, then it would be different. But like I said, I've talked to a few people that have, retail stores, and it's a lot more of a struggle. Like I said, if it wasn't for online, I know a lady that does, I forgot about the lady I know that does it, Teresa, and she would struggle too. And her store is immaculate. Her store is nice. She carries only the best stuff that you can get. It's all secondhand, but it's still like top of the line, Gucci and Fendi and Versace and all that kind of stuff. And she still, and she doesn't spend a whole lot more money than I do, because there's ways you can source that stuff that's real and not spend a fortune. I just focus on men's stuff and, workwear and all that, because that's what I like. And that's what I know, and so I know that if I'm selling that, I know how to date it. If I find some Carhartt from the 70s, I know it's real Carhartt from the 70s.
Yeah.
If I like today, I found some Gucci pants. I don't know if they were real or not. They said they were made in Italy, but I couldn't tell you for sure if they were real, and that's why I didn't buy them.
Good luck, kids.
That's just how I look at the stuff. Is I do what I know, and I know workwear because that's what I've worn my whole life.
Joe Isabella, the man,
Congrats.
the myth, the legend. Congratulations, brother.
But no, you can hit me up anytime you want to, Steve. I mean, I check my Instagram. I don't post a lot. I don't, I like stuff, but I don't comment a lot. But I go on Instagram. I gotta go look at bouncing boobs somewhere.
How come you don't sell on Instagram? I've seen you post some clothes, but
it's such a headache because when you do it, truthfully, selling is a headache anyway, because so many people want whatever it is. And I mean, it's the same way when I sell knives, because I've sold knives on eBay too. You could post it doesn't matter what it is. You could post any $500 knife. You could post an Evo. You could post a Grimsmo, and you're going to get offers for $200.
oh yeah.
And it gets annoying. And then when it's on Instagram, it's people and it's like, are you this fucking stupid? It like if I posted, the J cape that I just, that I got that in there, if I posted it on Instagram, I'm going to, be getting $200 offers from people that are supposed to be my internet friends. And I'm like, are you that fucking dumb that you think I'm going to sell you a damn J cape for $200? With extra scales. And it's, that's the part that drives me crazy is you can post anything, like I had a Travis Scott hoodie. I don't know. It's been a few weeks ago now. And I was getting people sending me offers of $20 and $25 and $30. And it's like, this is a Travis Scott center swoosh 90s, early 90s, brown, which is Travis Scott's color, Nike hoodie. The same one that he wears. It wasn't his. It wasn't a Travis Scott collab with Nike hoodie, which you can get. They're new. This is the one that he wears. This is, it's just I happened to find one. And I had people sending me offers for $20. And it's like, really?
Reach out to him.
And I mean, people just don't, they want it, but they don't want to work for it by either going and hunting it out themselves or by working, getting a job and then buying it. Because that's the only way you're going to get it is either you go hunt it down yourself or you go work for it and buy it. And that's, I don't that, but that's why I don't do it on Instagram, is because those are folks that actually, you know, like I said, are supposed to be internet friends. It'd be like, you know, John sending me a $200 offer for a $1,000 knife. I'd be like, are you fucking
insulting your intelligence?
It really, that's what it feels like. Is you know, I mean, it's just the way it feels. You know, and like I said, when you take into, like, right now, I've got a Big Face Sting NWO shirt listed, and I know it's not going to sell fast because it's an expensive T-shirt. But you know, I get offers every day for $20, $25. You know, and I mean, that's just how it goes. You know, and that's just a part of it. It's bad enough when it's people you don't know. It's even worse when it's people you know, because it actually is worse when it's people you know because they think you should give them a bro deal.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's a guy over in Huntsville that he's not into vintage as a collector. He's into it to flip it, and because it's trendy and cool, and he wants to be trendy and cool. And I found something that's really rare, and he wanted a bro deal on it, and I told him no. I'm not the middleman. I'm the end. You know, if you want to buy it, if you want it, you're the end user. You know, I'm not the person who's going to buy it. Right. I'm not the guy. That's not me. You know, if I'm willing to sell something, I'm willing to sell something to the end user. If you're buying from me, you want to keep it. You're not looking to me to buy something to go and resell. And it doesn't matter what it is. If I sell one of my pocket knives, I'm not giving it to you, you know, for someone.
I'll do that.
Well, I'm not necessarily trying to make money on it, but I'm not going to lose a shit ton of money either. That's just bad business.
Right.
You know,
or nuts
now,
knives.
I do have people that I would give a bro deal to, you know, when it comes to different things. But just some random dude on the internet, I'm not, you know, but they expect you to. You know, that's basically, I'm almost like, if I found something that, you know, John wanted, then I'm probably more likely to give him a fair deal because I broke bread with him.
Yeah.
You know, that's how that, to me, that's kind of how that works.
Right, but I can see your point. It's easier to go out to where people don't know you and get what market value says it is than having to deal with a bunch of people undercutting you. Because it tells you, Joe Isabella, congratulations, brother. I sent you a DM. You were safe in the shower, buddy. You don't have to be here for member giveaways. But congratulations, buddy. Just email me when you get dry. No rush. You get it to me tonight or in the morning, I'll send it out to you tomorrow.
But I mean, that's like, you know, I found 2 Patagonia fleece pullovers, the snap tees, and I'm going to give them to my nieces. Well, they're my nieces, you know, so yeah, I'll give them shit. My daughter just goes in there and takes shit.
Out of your pocket.
My wife just goes in there and takes shit. That's just part of being a dad and a husband. Today I got a hoodie from Bonnaroo, and which I don't know if you know what that is, Steve, but I know John knows what Bonnaroo is. It's a big alternative band outdoor concert, and I found one of those today because I went after work, and first thing my wife took it.
What year was it? Was it this last year?
I'd have to go look at it. I don't remember, but either way, either way, it's probably a $50 hoodie, because it's Bonnaroo.
Oh, no doubt.
So now if you want to get some stuff that goes for good money, in the South, go get you some Freaknik.
Freaknik?
Freaknik in Atlanta.
And then you got that whole Atlanta market.
You don't know, but the thing is, Steve, is you can't wear Freaknik around your children. I promise you. The T-shirts usually have naked women on them, because it's a little wild. But I mean, that's like I said, I mean, just people just want stuff for free, so it's hard to sell online.
Well, guys,
You know, it's
I'm gonna have to run to the border and grab me something to eat before said faction starts. Y'all watching said faction tonight? I know you're going to bed. You gonna try to?
I'm tired. I'm gonna try.
Try to hang in there, guys.
Go bounce and
I
get
didn't
some.
realize it was 11 o'clock.
Oh, it's early, man.
Charge my phone.
I just know that Taco Bell here in Huntsville gets slack, and sometimes they're open till 2. I've gone by there at 12:05, and they've been dark as the night. And you're like, what's the deal?
They can't get nobody to work at them.
That's true. That's true. But guys, I love all y'all.
Oh.
Y'all got any parting words? You got any parting words, Panty Pirate?
Oh, just everybody have a good night. Glad to see y'all. Or glad to let y'all see me.
Thanks for having me.
Dude, I'm glad all y'all are here. I love all y'all. Remember, look out for the guy or gal to your left. Look out for the guy or gal to your right. Look out for each other. Choose debate, not hate. I love you all, and I'll see you at said faction. Till then.